For the 85th Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And now to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome back Idina Menzel.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, yea, flew through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And the home of the
How wonderful is she? What a talent. Idina Menzel off to a roaring start in Minneapolis. Back after this. Our pregame show on Fox, sponsored by Chevrolet. It's the 85th Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The best from the National League taking on the best from the American League tonight in Minneapolis. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. The guys are coming right up. Lest you think that what's on the line here tonight doesn't matter, realize that the last 5 World Series winners have all had home field advantage. That's what happens. Whatever league wins here tonight, as it's been since 2003, they get home field advantage. Harold, you're first up, my friend.
I'll tell you what, the All-Star Game, first of all, how electric is this place? But there's one man everybody's talking about. If you saw the ovation, Derek Jeter, last All-Star Game for him, But, man, when greatness is upon you, don't ever forget you're watching it. One of the true greats of our all-time. 9th all-time in hitting. And the big thing I look for tonight is Derek always steps up in big moments, and I'm sure he'll have a big one. I hope he's the MVP, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, he's a career .440 hitter. He's a former All-Star Game MVP, so it wouldn't be crazy if that happens. Okay, 40-year-old. He wants to talk about the 40-year-old Derek Jeter, but, man, there are a lot of young studs on display here tonight.
You know, Derek Jeter, I think, consistency, but when you talk about guys who can make those plays that take your breath away, at bat, on the bases, in the field, we have 4 of the very best. Start with Mike Trout, his 2nd All-Star game. He's a veteran. And 3 guys in the National League making their first All-Star starts. You're talking about Yasiel Puig, Giancarlo Stanton, and Andrew McCutchen. That's what's great about baseball, Joe, is that it keeps turning over. You don't have to wait for the next group of stars. They're here, right now.
So which league is going to get home field advantage with a win here tonight? Why not ask the guys that are involved in the game? Take it away.
I believe that the National League will win.
I believe that the National League will win.
I believe that the American League will win. But we're going to win.
National League.
American League. I know that the All-Star Game is coming up next.
Podcast is sponsored by T-Mobile and by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
That's how the story goes. Troy Tulowitzki is at it again. Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter. That's how the story goes. He does it again.
That's what big boys hit him out there.
Derek Jeter has done it in grand style.
Who are the 2 starting pitchers here tonight? Adam Wainwright will get the ball for the National League in the bottom of the 1st inning, and that guy, one of 15 active players listed by MLB.com named Hernandez, but there's only one King Felix. Let's take a look at the lineup. We gave it to you in grand style, but we'll give it to you this way as well. The National League starting lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Andrew McCutchen, he won the MVP last year in the National League. He's first up. Anybody more electric or exciting than Yasiel Puig? Troy Tulowitzki, probably the best shortstop. When he is healthy, he is lethal. Paul Goldschmidt can do everything. Giancarlo Stanton, best raw power in the game. Aramis Ramirez, he's been at it a long time, gets the start for the first place Milwaukee Brewers. Chase Utley's back. Good to have him back in an all-star game. Jonathan Lucroy is the catcher. And Carlos Gomez, who was in the Twins organization, now with the Brewers, and he's figured it out. Typically their center fielder. He is in left in this all-star game. And before we get it going tonight, is King Felix is about to take his warm-up tosses whenever the meeting at home plate breaks up. And Hernandez can't wait to throw a pitch to get going. But they're still meeting. We'll go down to Aaron Andrews, who is standing by with Giancarlo Stanton.
Joe, thanks so much. Well, last night in the home run derby, you hit a ball that almost left this park. Now, potentially you have the chance of going up against Felix Hernandez. How do you do that against him?
No one can do that against him, but my best chance is to just wait for him to make a mistake right over the plate, right down the middle, and I'll see what I got.
He told us yesterday, King Felix said he wasn't going to watch any video on anybody he was facing. How did you prepare against any of the pitchers you could see tonight?
Same. I haven't watched much video, just gone off of facing him before. I don't have much success against him.
Oh, for three Ks, that's fine.
Thank you very much. But I got another crack at it tonight, so we'll see.
Good to talk to you. Have fun tonight.
Thank you. We will.
All right, Joe.
He's got an electric smile, and he's got, as I said, more power than anybody in the big leagues. He is a superstar and one of those young guys that Tom Verducci talked about at the start of our night. The defense for the American League. Trout is in left. Jones in center. Bautista in right. With Donaldson, Jeter, Cano. Double play combo back together. Miguel Cabrera at first. Salvador Perez does the catching. Felix Hernandez has never thrown to Perez. They met yesterday, talked things over. And this guy, is it possible to say that he's just scratching the surface because he's more dedicated to his craft this year? His numbers are blow you away great. He's still young. I mean, this guy could get better.
You know, I asked him in spring training last year, I said, what's your best pitch? He said, all 5. I said, okay, excuse me.
He is not lacking for confidence.
No, not at all.
And he loves his changeup. Self-taught changeup that he picked up in 09 and looks like a splitter. And this is outside, and this thing starts with that pitch zipping in for ball 1 to McCutchen.
This is going to be fun.
I was going to say my favorite pitch. I know what it is. It is that changeup. That is unhittable. Hitters are hitting 105 against that changeup this year. Just can't pick it up.
The guy who's got a perfect game on his resume. Here is a shot to short. No way. Diving stop. Jeter. He did not get him as McCutchen beat the throw. That would have been some start in his final All-Star game, and a little smile on the face of Jeter.
I was thinking, are we going to see our first replay in All-Star history? What a play by Derek. The dive, the layout, but watch how he gets to his feet in a hurry. You see how short he's playing on the dirt because McCutchen can run. He's not on the grass. He's on the dirt surface. He gets up, makes the throw. He wanted it bad, too, didn't he, Tom?
Absolutely. 90% of runners, he would have gotten it first base. But with McCutchen's speed and the way he gets out of the box so quick from the right-hand side, looks like he just beat it.
Ooh. Let's challenge that.
Now, that's pretty close. There is obviously the challenge system in play, but no challenge. It's an infield base hit and a breaking ball that misses to Puig.
Well, the speed of this game is going to be incredible. One, they're going to be swinging early and aggressive like you talked about, Joe. And then how about the speed of McCutchen?
Well, these guys, for the most part, typically are left on their own, the veterans, to run when they want. This one squirts away, and down to second is McCutchen on what will likely be a wild pitch on Felix Hernandez.
You know, and that was the changeup, Harold. He showed it right there at 90 miles an hour. Yes, that's the hardest changeup in baseball. Watch it just dive in front of Perez here. That's a tough one because it looks like it hits the plate. Comes up a little higher than Perez expected.
Yeah, and once that ball hits the dirt, you got no chance with McCutchen. And plus, he's got the fluorescent green shoes on. Forget about it.
If he had no chance before. His shoes actually match the vendors. here at Target Field. They're wearing bright yellow, and he's wearing bright yellow.
I'm not sure that was the look he was going for, though, the vendor look.
Runner at second, nobody out. And a 2-0 pitch to Puig. That pitch just dives. There it is for strike one.
Well, and that's the movement that he can put on his pitches. Puig's letting 2-0. You're in an all-star game trying to juice one. Heck of movement.
There you go. I think it's a perfect match. So McCutchen at second with nobody out. And now 2 strikes on Yasiel Puig. Who's the home plate umpire? Gary Cederstrom. He's the crew chief. His second all-star game. First time he's worked the plate. Then it's Jeff Nelson, Bob Davidson, Scott Berry, Todd Tishner, and Vic Carapazza. They work the outfield here on a gorgeous night in Minneapolis. That's a strikeout for out number 1. And who threw the ceremonial first pitch? The great Rod Carew. 7-time American League batting champion while with the Twins.
Man could hit. Him, Tony Oliva. And Rod was not just a guy that hit singles. You know, he would drop a home run on you every now and then, spray the ball over the ballpark. One of the greats of all time.
So runner at second, 1 out, big strikeout for Hernandez, and that's over the top and in for strike 1 to Tulowitzki. When this guy's healthy, is there a better shortstop in the game than Troy Tulowitzki?
No, and I've made the argument he's the best player in baseball. I know we all talk about Mike Trout, but when you look at a shortstop and what he's able to do at that position and affect the game, I got him right at the top of the board.
4th all-star game for Tulowitzki, who takes outside. The count evens a ball and a strike.
All he has to do is stay healthy. It's been the bugaboo over the years.
And that's part
pretty
of it.
nice. Having a shortstop bat third is about 6'3", 215, 220. You don't realize how big this guy is when you see him up close. Then you get a handle on that.
Trying to drive home McCutchen. He's at second with 1 out and a 1-1 pitch. Just filthy.
He is, isn't he? And that's what he meant by all 5. You know, we've watched already. There's a fastball, a little changeup. He takes a little something off. We've watched the heater on the corner. We watched the slider, and he'll drop a split on you. I mean, he's got the assortment, and he can throw them all for strikes anytime he wants.
Now 1-2 pitch. Runner McCutchen going, struck him out, and a steal of third. Puts McCutchen at third with 2 down. Back-to-back strikeouts as Perez could not get Andrew McCutchen.
Well, he got a great combination. He knew it was going to be an off-speed pitch. Plus, with the right-handed batter, Perez comes up and doesn't have a clear shot to see him. You see the throw go over as Donaldson slides to get him. He's safe easy, but I love the steal because the right-handed batter, as big as Tulowitzki is, he blocked the vision of the catcher and forced him to throw out of a different lane.
So now it's Goldschmidt with a 2-out RBI chance, and not a small thing to have a runner at third with a guy who's got as much movement as Felix Hernandez. If one gets away, as we've already seen in this inning, that's ball 1.
Not easy to catch. Both strikeouts so far on that changeup. Joe, I think that's the best singular pitch in all of baseball. And he throws it like unlike any other changeup. All his fingers are totally off the seams.
Here's a 1-0. That drills the outside corner. And that's Scott Reynolds up here shaking his head.
It just looks hard. I know the radar gun's saying 93, but he hides the ball with his spin, and it jumps on the hitter. That's why he's so difficult to pick up.
Here's a 1-1. Broken bat. Backhanded pickup by Donaldson. Inning over. Leadoff infield hit by McCutchen. He's left on. Now it's Wainwright to the hill. No score after a half in the All-Star game. Is sponsored by Jordan Brand. Derek Jeter will be first up in his final All-Star game, 20th season. He's got 5 rings. The captain, former All-Star Game MVP. Then he's followed by Mike Trout, Robinson Cano, Miguel Cabrera cleans up. Jose Bautista, Nelson Cruz, the DH, Adam Jones in center, Josh Donaldson at third, batting ninth, Salvador Perez.
Now batting for the American League from the New York Yankees, the shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter, number 2.
If he's going to go out on the big stage here tonight, who knows where the Yankees will end up, guys. This is exactly what we've seen from Derek Jeter for 20 years.
Are we surprised? I mean, every time there's a big moment, he steps up. And he takes the classic Derek Jeter swing inside out into the corner for the double. Start off with the great play. Had there been no replay, guys, when you talk about that play, because he's been called out by the ump with the moment the night is. I mean, Tom, you've watched him forever, too. It's incredible, right?
A swing that launched more than 3,400 hits. Hasn't changed all that much over the years.
Mike Trout is backing up Jeter in this lineup, then Cano, as the AL tries to grab the lead. Now Wainwright's got to pitch out of trouble, as Felix Hernandez did in the top of the inning.
Well, and you saw right there, Wainwright's playing to win. You see him pitch the first pitch in. He knows Mike Trout wants to try to get that runner over, jams him inside. They're still trying to win this game. Even though he cheered for Jeter, he wasn't trying to give him a hit.
Wainwright, who listed this as obviously one of his great thrills in what's really turning into a brilliant big league career. There are his numbers. He leads in wins and ERA. That's down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had never faced Jeter prior to that at bat. And he listed it on that same list as playing with Chipper Jones. He grew up in Georgia, Wainwright did, playing with Andrew Jones, pitching with John Smoltz. Here's a 1-1. That gets Trout backed up and off the plate a little bit. The count 2-1.
Last night, Joe, he was doing his homework. He may only go 1 inning. You see that ball get inside on Trout. He said he was looking at video of all 9 hitters in the American League lineup, the same as he would prepare for any regular season start.
Turns 33 in August.
Yes.
He goes inside, then down and away. That's been working since after Doubleday was born, and the count 2-2.
Yeah, go in, knock him off, and go back outside. I thought he needed to take just a breath to get back focused because, you know, you're clapping for the hitter 1 second. He doubles, and before you know it, you're caught up in all the euphoria that's going on. You got to back up a little bit and get to the game.
Here's a 2-2. Breaking ball. Wainwright has a good curve that's down and away now, full count.
And oh, by the way, here comes Mike Trout.
Yeah. I thought it was classy, though. He put his glove and the baseball on the mound when Derek got in the batter's box and stepped off the bat. That was a fan, not the starting pitcher of the All-Star game. Another fan showing his respect.
Jeter at second with nobody out and a 3-2 count on Mike Trout. That's in the air to right, well hit. Back is Puig at the wall, off the wall. Jeter will round third and score. Trout digging for 3, and he'll make it with an RBI triple. ALF 1-zip.
My goodness, Joe. How strong is this kid? It didn't look like he hit the ball that well. And to travel as far as it did, Puig, I think, thought he had a beat on this. Right here, he thinks he's got it. Now it starts to drift. I'll change angles. That ball was hit so hard the opposite way that he had no play. He had no play on this.
I had so much fun watching Mike Trout run this triple out. Wow, can the big man fly?
He's out in front of that ball. You know, he doesn't really get all this. He knows it. But watch him run like Tom was talking about.
Watch him find another gear right there.
Well, there was controversy with the pick of Mike Matheny, the manager of the National League. As Cabrera watches with the starting pitcher, you can make a strong case for either Wainwright or Kershaw, who's the hottest pitcher in the game. Cano tries to hammer at a high delivery, strike 1. Kershaw will be seen here tonight early on the National League side. Wainwright gets the ball. And he's given up a double, a triple, and now has to really do some pitching to keep this just a 1-run inning.
Yeah, and the infield's drawn in. Cano knows it, and he's one of the best RBI guys, situational hitters in baseball.
That's strike 2, and I thought it was interesting that Robinson told us yesterday that the guy he credits with making him a good situational hitter is Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, took him on the backfield to spring training and said, no, we're going to work on situations. He ended up having a 100 RBI season, and it's gone on from there.
And he's taken that and learning how to play in the big leagues with Derek Jeter to Seattle, and they are a much improved club. Already action in the bullpen with Lester getting loose. He'll be next in and take over the top of the second as the count goes to 1-2 on Cano.
You see Wainwright trying to get in strikeout mode right here. As you said, Harold, infield in with Cano. Their odds of getting the ground ball out, not good.
Here's a 1-2. A strikeout, a big one for Wainwright. 1 away, the runner at third, and now Miguel Cabrera will bat.
Well, that's the signature pitch of Wainwright, the breaking ball. That ball just dive bombs in front of the plate.
And you usually don't see Cano get this swing happy. You know, that infield drawn in early. He was licking his chops. He hadn't seen that all season in Seattle. Well, he's sitting there going, I got Miguel Cabrera behind me, right, and they're drawing the infield in. This is beautiful. He went hacking. Didn't work.
Luke Croy made a nice play on that breaking ball in the dirt on the strikeout to keep the runner at third. Luke Croy getting the start in place of the injured Yadier Molina. And now the batter is Miguel Cabrera. Runner at third, 1 out, and that's foul. So you got Cabrera. You go through Jeter, then Trout, Cano, and you get a guy who won a triple crown 2 years ago, back-to-back MVPs and 3 straight batting titles.
How'd you like to be on the left side of the infield right now with this guy up, infield in?
No, you can have it.
Here comes the 0-1. That is hammered into left. Back at the wall. Come on. Miguel Cabrera with a 2-run shot. And it's 3-0 American League in the first. Sound coming off the bat.
Mercy. Hey, this was a difficult task for Adam Wainwright all the way through. You know, you start with the emotion, letting Jeter have his moment, and then try to focus in, and you get yourself in a jam in the middle of this lineup. It was going to be tough to get through this without giving up anything. Look at this swing here. You hear him talk about, guys say, stay inside the baseball. You see how the knob of his bat was going towards the ball? That's how you get the bat through the zone.
9th All-Star game for Cabrera. First home run. As I mentioned, the Triple Crown in 2012 was the first in baseball since Carl Yastrzemski in 1967. 44 home runs that year. Good breaking ball, strike 2. And Cabrera admitted this week that he's still not healed from that tear in his groin that he had to play with last year.
Imagine when he gets healthy. You can see they are in swing mode, aggressive early in counts here.
Here's the 0-2. Bounces in, and LaCroix blocks it at the plate, ball 1.
Well, when you see a pitcher that you have not seen, and you already know from watching Adam Wainwright, he's got a nasty curveball, and he varies the different ones. He'll throw 2 or 3 different breaks on it. You're going to be aggressive. He throws anything, I'm swinging early if I can get something that's straight.
Here's a 1-2. Up there hacking on a high delivery. It stays 1-2. The story of Jose Bautista is just crazy. It's his 5th All-Star game, all since coming to Toronto. In 2004, he was with Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh. Same year. Didn't hit a home run. Hit 54 in 2010. That makes it 2-2.
Yeah, most home runs in the major leagues the last 5 years. Really changed his approach and especially his swing at the plate. This guy does not get cheated.
Breaking ball struck him out. That's the good Wainwright curveball, 2 down. Let's go back to the home run hit by Cabrera.
And you saw LaCroix set up all the way in. It's hard to get a pitch enough in, even if it's off the plate, because as you said, Harold, he is so good at pulling his hands into his body and still getting the barrel on the ball without any hook to that flight. Only that far inside the ball's going to hook.
That ball's torch.
Pujols same way, the ability to keep things fair on pitches inside like that. Here's a shattered bat. High hop for Tulowitzki, inning over. Hopefully everybody's okay, and they are with that shattered bat. It's been a busy day already for number 2. Almost got McCutchen in the top half. Started the bottom half with a double, scored the first run in his final All-Star game. 3-zip AL. repping the world champion Boston Red Sox. John Lester takes over. Look at the ERA. We give you now the keys to the game, brought to you by the Lincoln Motor Company.
Well, a little birdie, Joe, told me that the American League is going to run out 6 consecutive starting pitchers here. You got to make your outs productive, and it's going to be hard to string hits together with the American League. We've seen it already. Be aggressive early in counts. You don't need to remind these guys. We haven't even seen Adam Jones, Nelson Cruz, and Jose Abreu yet either. They will swing it and swing it early.
That little birdie is the rare bird to the feral, which is seen in Minneapolis about this time of year.
No, I can't reveal my unnamed birdies.
Like you're scooping stuff. Come on. First pitch is a ball to Giancarlo Stanton. Most powerful guy in the big leagues right here, Stanton.
Oh, without question. I mean, look at him. Look at the size of him. Joe, he had a home run this year that was clocked leaving the bat at 120 miles per hour.
Almost left the yard last night. Out of the stadium in the home run derby. Broken bat. Lighter plane going home. And a pop-up for out number 1.
John Lester coming out getting some firewood, though, with that cutter right there. That was nasty.
There's Kershaw getting ready. He'll come in the bottom of this second inning. But I'll tell you what, the way these games have gone, scoring has been at such a minimum and at a premium. You give up a 3 spot in the first inning, and then you're going to start dealing with these starting pitchers and then closers at the end of the game, multiple. It's tough to come back.
It is.
Lester is winding down his contract with the Boston Red Sox. Here's a line drive into center. A base hit off the bat of Aramis Ramirez. It's not just the 3 of us. There's 2 more down on the field. You heard from Aaron and now Annie Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Felix, first inning, you had the great play by Derek. You end up stranding McCutchen at third. What was it like out there for you?
First, I was, like I said, I was a little nervous. After I threw the first pitch, I was good. And then, I got a base hit. Derek made a unbelievable play. He was fast, so I get it safe. And then after that, I just tried to make good pitches and trying not to score.
John Farrell told us before the game that you were dying to pitch a second inning. How much did you try to talk him into it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would love to throw 2 innings. I mean, one was good enough. That's fine.
Felix, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
Since the start of 2009, he's got 109 starts, going 7+ innings. 2 earned runs or less, which is the most in baseball by a mile. The next guy's Kershaw at 86. You want depth? You want a guy to give your bullpen a day off? King Felix is the guy. Here's Utley. First pitch of ball from Lester. That's a strike.
You know what I took away from that as we look at Yu Darvish warming up. He'd be the next guy up for the American League, obviously. I took away that listening to Felix about being nervous. I don't care how many games you play, and he has not been a guy that's been in the postseason yet. When you get in this game, millions are watching that will never see you play a regular season game.
Strike 2 on Utley.
And you think about it, you're nervous. You know, this is like all the people all over the world are watching this game. Trust me, I know. I never made a postseason team. The All-Star game was like, wow, everybody's watching.
2 times you were an All-Star and they made you bunt.
Oh, man, I was a champ.
Twice in the same game.
I was so upset, but, you know, what can you do? We're trying to win. I popped one up, though, Joe. That was the problem. If I'd have got it down, I'd have been cool. But I popped one up, and that was frustrating. This guy won't be bunting hardly ever. Mr. Chase Utley.
Chase Utley, who battled injuries in 2010, 2011, and 12. He's back, hoping to finish his career in a Philadelphia Phillies uniform. Philly fans would love to see that as well. That's down and away. Tom, when this guy was rolling before the injuries set in, the knees really were racked with injuries. He was a must-see player, a dynamic second baseman.
Unbelievable, Joe. Back in 2009, he had 31 home runs and had 23 stolen bases without being caught. Nobody's ever done that. Chase is the only one with those kind of numbers.
Just spoiled it.
Great piece of hitting. And, you know, you think about it, left-handed hitters, it takes you a little while to get used to facing that left-hander. That's why a lot of young players struggle. He jumped right in, facing left-handed pitching, playing every day, and being productive.
I know Bryce Harper uses him as a template. Left-handed hitter against left-handed pitchers. Nobody hangs in better and longer than Chase Utley.
Here's a 2-2. That's hammered into right center field. Back at the wall. This ball is off the wall. Digging around third is Ramirez. They'll bring him home. Here's the relay by Cano. Ramirez safe in the National League on the board. RBI double by Chase Utley, and it's a 3-1 game here in the second.
Hey, I was so excited to watch Cano relay because he's the best, I think, in baseball at throwing a relay on a cutoff. He just swings his leg. He doesn't worry about anything else, just getting rid of the baseball. As you look at the swing from Utley, Tom, you talked about it, hanging in there on the left-hander. You only do that with 2 strikes if you're willing to sacrifice to stay in on the ball. That's a beautiful stroke. Well, that's the relay from Cano. This ball's off the wall. Watch him get it all in one motion, catch and throw. He's the best in the business.
The guy scoring, Ramirez, 35 years old in his 16th year. He's in his 3rd All-Star game. Ramirez got a base hit, followed by the double by Utley. And now Lucroy. He gets the start, the injury to Yadier Molina, and Lucroy has developed into a number 3 hitter on a first-place club.
Hey, he's in the MVP discussion, Joe. No, we still have a ways to go. MVP is often decided second half of the season. What he's done behind the plate, especially at the plate, definitely in the mix.
There's a strike.
You know what I like about him, Joe, is that he hits good pitching. You know, we see a lot of guys that put numbers up against the 4th or 5th starter or the middle reliever in a game that they're losing in. This guy has clutch hits late in the game off the closer. He hits the good pitching. And that's what I think has taken him to a whole nother level.
Well, he'll get a chance to do that tonight. That breaking ball good from Lester, strike 2.
This is where he's going to go to work. Really good 2-strike hitter. Croy has 42 extra base hits and 42 strikeouts. That's pretty good. And that's pretty good right here. The backdoor breaking ball from John Lester.
And if Lester's throwing that backdoor breaking ball, it's a tough night to hit because you know he's going to bust you in with the cutter. But if he gets that pitch out there, forget about it. You're beat.
Here's a shot into left, well hit. Back is Trout. He can't get there. Off the wall. Utley will score. It's a 1-run game. As the National League comes right back, and Lester gives up 3 straight hits and 2 straight doubles.
You know, Joe, I'm sitting here wondering if you really prepped Tom and I properly for our first All-Star game because you said, hey, there's going to be a lot of pitching. It's going to move quick. He better be ready.
Report, Joe.
Got to hang on here tonight.
This is fun, though. This is the way an All-Star game is supposed to be, man. Let the bat fly. Guys are getting in the box and dealing. And here's what Tom talked about, 2 strikes, man. He puts the ball in play and drives one in the gap.
Yeah, that was a cutter. Lester is trying to drive inside a little bit more. Nice piece of hitting by LaCroix.
Now his teammate Carlos Gomez digs in. All of a sudden the tying run is at second base. And the National League will switch to Clayton Kershaw on the bottom of the inning. Oh, a little charged up was Carlos Gomez.
That's standard operating procedure for Carlos Gomez.
Mercy. This is a big league. I'm trying to leave the house swing. Mercy.
He started in the big leagues here in Minneapolis. Oh, and he got a nice ovation during the pregame introductions. Now he's in the hole. 0-2 with 1 out and a runner at second.
He's yelling at himself.
He's got some flair.
Oh, he does. I love it. He's got some dog in him. Not just flair. He got some hot dog in him, and that's okay. Look at the shoes on up, the way he swings, carries himself. What a personality, though.
Ball 1.
Time's out.
You know, you've seen so many good things from Lester over the years. A guy who's daily asked about either A, being traded now, or B, his contract situation. He's been able to set all that aside. His ERA is about a half run better in a walk year. But he's been hit here in the second. Now Papa. Gomez will hope it gets out of play. It will not. Perez ends out number 2.
It's Perez's fault. He's yelling at him. Let that ball drop, man.
What does he want? Wear what the All-Stars are wearing. Tonight is the first time ever that both AL and NL teams will be wearing a cap specifically designed for the 2014 All-Star Game. Go to MLB.com. to find your team. He was yelling at Perez.
Yeah, he was. I'm telling you, man. The nut.
Here's McCutchen. Tying run at second, 2 out. They got some life in Milwaukee, and we're going to have a fight in the second half and down the stretch. You have to believe in the NL Central. That thing is tight, and Andrew's team is right there, the Pittsburgh Pirates, with that dynamic young outfield.
How about that whole National League? You got 8 teams separated by 3 games. We keep that into September. Wow.
Good pitch from Lester. And under the hands in the count 0-2, you saw Clint Hurdle, who seems to have a job for life now in Pittsburgh with the turnaround they had last year, getting into the postseason.
Done a terrific job, and the one challenge for Clint going in there was to change and renew the mindset from losing to winning, and forget about what's happened in the past. Let's go. We got talent to get it done here.
Up to hammer at it, popped it up. Shallow right center field. Jones is going to take charge, and the inning is over. But the National League back in it. 3 straight hits. Ramirez, Utley, Lucroy. A 3-2 game with Kershaw coming in. That's Terry Crews, who plays Sergeant Terry Jeffords on the Fox hit show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, airing Tuesdays at 8:30, 7:30 Central. Former linebacker, had a 4-year NFL career with the Rams, San Diego, Washington, Philadelphia, and now in the Fox family. As Clayton Kershaw has got to be, in the history of this game, since the All-Star game started back in, 1933, the hottest pitcher coming into any All-Star game. You just can't pitch better than what Kershaw's done since the 1st of June.
Yeah, and that's why it vaulted a little bit of a controversy. I shouldn't say a little bit. It is a controversy with who was going to start, Wainwright or Clayton Kershaw. The no-hitter, the way he's been pitching the last 8 outings. That's why everybody's like, where's Clayton?
Well, he's here in the second inning, down by 1. He is, and we talked about this, Tom, earlier in the year, how few drop and drive pitchers there are. He's a guy who uses his lower half and those big legs, and he's got such great touch and feel for when to go hard, when to go soft, as he gets a broken bat pop-up off the bat of Adam Jones. Wow.
Yeah, he's got very clean mechanics, but with a little bit of funk in there. By that I mean, you know, like in Manhattan, the street corners where the slush collects around the corner and you have to really reach to step over it? That's the way he pitches. It's like, wait a second, that puddle's bigger than I thought. But talk about this roll. We saw that in the last 8 starts, only 6 walks and just a ton of punch-outs. He is just on an incredible roll. But however, you know, with that little bit of funk he's got in his delivery, with that little step over that he's got, it's hard to time.
It is. Watching him here, he's got a little hesitation right before he delivers. Right there. Freeze, pop.
And then zips it in there at 93 to Josh Donaldson, who is tied for 7th in the American League with his 20 home runs. See, this is the tough part of this game. Adam Jones, we didn't even get a chance to talk about him. Here's a foul back to the screen.
Nice talking to you, Adam.
Watch the front foot. It goes down. Now he's got to stretch a little farther.
The puddle, right, in Manhattan.
A little slush.
Familiar with that, Joe?
They're always deeper than you think, too.
I love it.
Here's a 1-1. That's hammered, but foul for a guy who's a former catcher in the Cubs system. Donaldson was traded to the A's. It's his first All-Star game. His teammate Brandon Moss is here, traded by the Cubs back in July of '08 for Rich Harden. That didn't work out well for Chicago, but the A's found eventually their everyday third baseman who was in the top 5 in the MVP voting last year.
They did a great job of transforming this guy, and Chili Davis has a lot to do with that. As you go back and you think about Rich Harden at that time, I know he was losing it a little, but he still had that great electric fastball, and you thought, wow, nice pickup by the Cubs. And obviously it's turned out to be a really great find by the A's.
Good trade by Brad Pitt. Here's a 2-2. Full count.
That Brad Pitt guy, Billy Beane, of course, he's as good as anybody at finding talent in so many different places. Oakland with 6 All-Stars here, and yet the only one that they actually took out of the draft was Doolittle, who they drafted as a first baseman and converted him to a pitcher. Otherwise, it's trades, free agency, and bargain bins.
A strikeout for out number 2. May have chased it. High, hard one from Kershaw. We ask you to stay tuned for the Chevrolet postgame show and the Ted Williams MVP Award presentation, where the winner will drive off in the North American car or truck of the year. Their pick. You want to go sports car, you want to go SUV.
Oh, that's pretty nice. Right now, I wonder what Jeter's going to pick.
Oh, you're giving it to him. 2 out, nobody on. Here's Perez, strike 1.
I don't know. Miggy's got a 2-run homer so far. That was pretty impressive, too.
I don't feel like that chapter's been written yet. Who's going to be the MVP of this game?
I'm with you.
1-run game in the second, and the count 0-2 as Kershaw tries to have a quick and easy first and maybe only inning of work. He jams the heck out of Perez. Tough play. Barehanded pickup. Ramirez got him. What a play. And we see some defense from Aramis Ramirez. What an effort to get Perez. That helps out Kershaw, who has a perfect first inning of work. The guys who got it going for the AL are coming up in the bottom of the inning. Back after this from your local Fox station in a 1-run game. Cheska, our director Bill Webb, Joe, Harold, Tom, Aaron Andrews, and Kenny Rosenthal, who's standing by with the Commissioner Bud Selig.
Thanks, Joe. Commissioner, your last All-Star game as Commissioner. What do you consider your greatest accomplishment?
Well, I think overall the economic changes that have produced what I call competitive balance, say the greatest in baseball history, and the changes were painful and it took a while, but it's led to wonderful, wonderful balance. And you look at the standings today, Ken. I mean, every division is really close, and some have 4-team races, and so baseball is always resistant to change, but when you look at all the changes plus the wild cards and everything else, we're a long way from where we were in 1992.
At the same time, you know this, it hasn't always been a smooth ride.
You're right.
What is the one thing you wish you had done differently?
I don't know that I could have done anything different, but I will say that the 94 World Series, we had a work stoppage. It was the 8th work stoppage in my baseball career. You probably could see it coming, and now I'm proud of the fact we've had 22 years of labor peace. But do I wish somehow there would have been a way to stop that? I do. I've thought long and hard about that. But I would hope at least that everybody learned their lessons and we've moved on. But that was very painful.
Commissioner, thank you very much. Joe, back to you.
Kenny, thank you. And you can see in the box with the Commissioner, the great Hank Aaron, Frank Robinson, and Tony La Russa, who's one of a great group of both players and managers going into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown in less than 2 weeks as Yu Darvish takes over in a 1-run game here in the 3rd inning. The big right-hander brings it, and it's over, but low ball 1 to Yasiel Puig.
You know, of all the guys we've talked about tonight with the pitching so far, this guy may have the nastiest stuff. He's got about 8 pitches that he throws.
Well, it's difficult to catch. I was laughing before he started to warm up. Perez went out to the mound to talk to Darvish. That was quite a long conversation. Walked away, then Darvish called him back. I think there were a few more pitches that they didn't cover.
Goes a fastball, a cutter, a split, a change, a curveball, an eephus, and I got to create another one because I said 8.
1-1 pitch. The old Texas two-seamer.
Just don't say gyro ball.
Yeah, the gyro ball. When do we get to see that?
We're still waiting.
I was going to throw a wiffle ball in there, but that's okay. That works.
2 balls and a strike on Yasiel, who obviously burst onto the big league scene last year for the Dodgers, who got so hot, had that 42-8 run. This ball is not caught by Batista. He got near the wall, then made kind of an awkward leap. And let's see. He just missed it altogether.
Yeah, he just missed it. I think the one thing, too, you know, the wall's there, and he's coming back from an injury. That's a ball I'm sure he thought he should have caught. He should have caught that ball.
His Blue Jays at the break are 4 games out behind the Orioles. Yankees are 5 out. With Tampa Bay and the Red Sox 9.5 out.
Everybody in Toronto holding their breath on that dive and that jump to the wall right there, though.
Now a 2-2 pitch to Yasiel. Another foul. Well, his first month, he let everybody know just what he was bringing with him from the minor leagues. Had 44 hits, which was second to Joe DiMaggio with his 48 back in May of '36, his first month in the big leagues. Hit 7 home runs, and he really helped throw the Dodgers forward, kind of slung him on his back. Here's a 2-2.
Sure did. I mean, to go back to Tom talking about the excitement of the young players, this guy's must-see TV.
Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what impressed me, though, Harold. In spring training, Don Mattingly asked Puig, when you're done playing, how do you want people to remember you? And he said, I want them to think of me the way they think of Derek Jeter.
3-2. Breaking ball struck him out. Ooh. Borderline pitch. Darvish gets the call. And 1 away here in the top of the 3rd.
A little bit of flinch there. I don't blame him on that breaking ball. Comes back over the inside corner.
That ball's not getting back. You know, I understand it's an All-Star game. That's why he's not arguing. But that's the regular season. We might see Puig put up a little more fight. He saw the ball. He had a great at-bat. He fouled off pitches. He saw that pitch the whole way.
So with one out, batter's Tulowitzki, and that's a ball. Troy in his 9th year in Colorado. He is the 2nd highest OPS, which is on base plus slugging percentage, by a National League shortstop for the All-Star break since 1935. Archie Vaughn. That's the kind of year he's putting together. But injuries hit Colorado hard early. And the Rockies check in at the break, 13 out.
I mean, look at those numbers. 175 home runs since 2007.
And don't give me that he plays in the lighter air in Denver. I mean, yeah, that's part of it. But this guy, he can hit anywhere.
I'm with you. We're talking about one of the elite players, touched on that already. But this guy can hit anywhere. And he's an organizational and a division changer. You know, if the Rockies continue to sputter the way they have, it'll be interesting to see if his name comes up in trade talks. He can change the direction of an organization, what he can bring back, and also what he does on the field for the team he goes to.
1-2. That just floats in. Crowd liked it behind home plate. Tulowitzki dialed in, took it.
I mean, he couldn't have gotten a speeding ticket with this pitch. Talk about getting a long look at a pitch. You got bored waiting for that to cross the plate.
It's one of the 7 or 8.
Yeah, it is.
Here's a 2-2. Outside, checked his swing, and back-to-back full counts.
Boy, that was dirty right there. That little slider on the back corner. Nasty.
So it's Tulowitzki now, and then Goldschmidt waits on deck. And then we're going to start getting into probably after the bottom of this inning when those big bats come up, the top of the order. Bench time. And the reserve players. 3-2 pitch. That's hit in the air to left. Trout coming to get it. 2 out.
Nobody closes on a ball better than Mike Trout in baseball. I don't think. Watching him, I know he's in left tonight. He played a little left last year, obviously, when they had Borges in center. But watch this. Game speed, real time. Watch how quick he closes. Most guys are diving or sliding for this ball. And to watch him when he's in center to cut a ball off like that, he closes on a ball as good as anybody.
Jersey kid. Now playing in Southern California and signed a big deal. Couldn't walk away from that offer from the Angels. Here's a line drive caught by Cano, who does everything nonchalant. As he just makes the catch, almost took his glove off the bat of Goldschmidt. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Top of the order coming up. That means Jeter, Trout, and Cano. AL up 1. Sponsored by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball.
Now batting for the American League from the New York Yankees.
The captain.
A great teammate, Mr. November.
I had his poster on my wall.
I wear number 2 because of him. He took me deep for number 3,000.
Fight-time champion.
He's the real king.
Number 2, Derek Jeter.
Hey, but there's one youngster here playing tonight, Todd Frazier with the Reds. He got to know Derek Jeter. 98, he won a Little League World Series. And he got to be the honorary. Their team went to New York. He got to stand next to the captain because he was the shortstop on that team. 75 years of Little League Baseball they're celebrating this year, but what a cool moment for Todd Frazier.
Jeter doubled, scored a run. Frazier, by the way, in that Little League World Series hit 600 with 4 home runs. That's why he got to be the ref.
He was a beast. He was pitching, he was playing short, everything. Tom's River, New Jersey. The Beast is what they were called, the Beast of the East. I was doing a Little League then. That was a fun time.
Here's Alfredo Simon. And Tom, this guy was so good filling in with injuries in the Reds rotation, specifically Matt Latos, that once he came back, they had to keep him around. Now he's an all-star.
Give him credit. He saw an opening. He's bounced between the bullpen and rotation. He said, I want to start. And took advantage. You see there the hard sinker. He's the epitome of what we're seeing in the game today. The sinker-cutter combination. Hard, low. You don't know whether it's going to cut or run on you. He has mastered that combination.
Takes over for Kershaw, who pitched a perfect inning with a strikeout. Here's a 1-2. 5 rings, and here in his 14th and last appearance in the Midsummer Classic, you have to respect the captain, Derek Jeter, as he digs in for what is likely his final at-bat of this game. Doubled and scored his first time up. 2-2 pitch from Simon. That keeps him alive as he got a piece. Harold, he played the game for a long time, 2-time All-Star. Jeter was the guy as Greinke gets loose. That Game 7, 9th inning, bases loaded, 2 out. You want the ball hit to this guy, and he wants the ball hit to him to end a World Series.
No doubt, and you want him at the plate as well. That's why he's been such a great player.
Full count.
Some guys can just stop the moment and ask it to come to them and rise to the occasion. And that's why I say when greatness is upon you, you recognize it and enjoy it. It's been a joy to watch him play for these 20 years and all the moments he's given us.
Full count pitch from Simon on the way. That's in the air to right, falling fast. He is 2 for 2. A double, a single, and he's on here to start the 3rd. He's now got 13 All-Star Game hits. He was the MVP of the All-Star Game back in 2000.
Well, we got a shot at his dad right there, his nephew Jalen on his lap. See Derek swing again, Tom, the classic little Derek Jeter inside out.
It's a very unique swing. The left elbow kind of leads. But I remember years ago Don Mattingly telling me, watch his head. No one keeps their head on the baseball longer than Derek Jeter does, and he's always done that. Watch his head here. Stay on the baseball.
And as I saw that ball fall in, Joe, last week in Cleveland, he got his, think about this, the ball gets by, he goes to second. His 1,000 multi-hit game. And another multi-hit game tonight.
Well, that's how you pile up over 3,400 career hits, and you're the Yankees' all-time hit leader. He's got a double, a single tonight. '96 Rookie of the Year. He has won 5 rings. He's at second, nobody out after the wild pitch, and a strike is into Mike Trout.
You know, that swing thing about Derek, it's so unique that you really can't duplicate it. And a lot of people talk about keep hands inside the baseball and all those things. I remember talking to Wade Boggs years ago, and so many guys from that time, you learn how to hit based on what's happening in your backyard playing wiffle ball.
There's a strike from Simon, 1-2.
And Wade would take that ball inside out, and I wanted to do that forever. And I said, is that your natural swing? He said, well, yeah. The only way I could hit a home run in the backyard, we had hedges that would take you inside out, like that man we just showed, Rod Carew.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Trout just got a piece.
You know, you're talking about Todd Frazier. I don't know that I can recall any other player except Derek Jeter who influenced more children and kids playing the game growing up than Derek Jeter. There's Frazier right there, the man in the batter's box. Mike Trout was a shortstop growing up in New Jersey, idolizing Derek Jeter. Of course, Dee Gordon, as a 12-year-old, hung around the Yankee clubhouse. His dad, Tom Gordon, was on the Yankee team, modeled his game after Derek Jeter.
Here's one down the line and left. It is caught, and a nice running grab by Gomez. Good play for a loud out number one.
I'll tell you what, we're looking at a center fielder playing left. That was amazing. Closer.
So now Cano. 6th All-Star game for Robinson Cano. And he is the first American League second baseman to start 5 straight All-Star games since Robbie Alomar from 1996 through the year 2000.
Just to continue that thought, I'm sure I could go all night about Jeter, but think about Eric Ibar. Where's number 2? Because the only games he got in the Dominican Republic were Yankee games.
Well, I think what's unique too, Tom, is that I'm sure Mickey Mantle influenced a lot of people, but you didn't see him play. You know, so I couldn't patent my game after Mickey Mantle if you lived in that time, unless you lived in that area. Derek has been in the renaissance of the generation that we're in, where every game's on TV now, or it's on the internet, or different things. So you've been able to really follow his career, and his influence has reached outside of that New York area. Not to mention they're in a lot of World Series.
That's the thing. He was a regular part of October programming.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Strike one on Cano, who struck out his first time. That was against Adam Wainwright. Jeter was, you could just see it all over his face. He was appreciative of the standing ovation and what the other players on the field did during his first at bat, but he was almost reluctant to really embrace it and couldn't wait to get in the batter's box and just play baseball. Strike 2.
Yeah, a lot of people wondered, why did he announce his retirement so early? He's going to have to deal with all the publicity all season long. But if there's anybody who calculates everything he does and knows ahead of time with foresight as to what might happen, it's Derek. He's lived in a fishbowl his whole life. Think about it, his professional life anyway. So he was well aware of all the things that were going to come with this announcement early in the season. He was going to be ahead of him.
Here's a 1-2. A strikeout for Simon, and out number 2. It'll bring in Miguel Cabrera, who did this in the first. And so close to a souvenir out and left.
He's going to be kicking himself for a lifetime. My goodness. He had a Miguel Cabrera home run in the All-Star game. He couldn't hold on.
Good thing his buddy could hold on to him. That's outside for ball 1. How about our T-Mobile changing the game of wireless? And now for tonight's game changer, Miguel Cabrera. Mentioned first Triple Crown winner since 1967. He's won 3 straight American League batting titles. First Tiger to do that since Ty Cobb. 2-time AL MVP, the reigning AL MVP, and he can do that. Down the line and right, slicing foul. He's got power to right at times like a left-handed pull hitter.
And that's why you put up the numbers he's put up and been able to win a batting title, RBI title, and a home run title.
You saw him pull his hands in and hit that home run in the left field. Ball away, take it away. There are times he wants to put on a show at batting practice at BP. You know that basketball game around the world? He will do that hitting home runs and literally go from the right field line to the left field line with home runs.
1-1. That was Miguel who made that noise.
Yeah. He saw a pitch that hung and he knew he had it. Oh my goodness.
Now in the hole 1 and 2 as Simon gets away with a mistake. You don't get away with many of those against Miguel Cabrera. I don't care, All-Star game or not. Wow. Leadoff hit by Jeter. And then with Jeter down at second on a wild pitch, Trout hit it hard into the corner and left for an out, and then Cano struck out.
He's yelling in the other dugout. These guys are so loose. They have so much fun playing. This guy in particular, Miguel Cabrera, has, I think, the most fun of anybody in baseball. And now he's back at first base. He's an ambassador, talking to everybody who comes down there. It's like Sean Casey, the mayor, just always yakking.
Here's the 2-2 outside with Batista on deck. You say it about Cabrera, you can say it against anybody. He hits the best pitcher's best pitch.
Yeah.
There aren't many guys who are in that category.
You're right. That's the magic of how great he is.
3-2 pitch. He lines it right to Tulowitzki. And that loud out ends the inning. Let's go to the fourth inning in Minneapolis. Beautiful night, great ballpark, Target Field, 3-2 AL. Inning rolls in. New pitcher for the American League is Chris Sale, the left-hander from the Chicago White Sox. And here's the moment for Derek Jeter.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Spend it all on the man. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Butter. I love you. Thank you. Love you, my friend. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Amigo. Hey, thank you. We'll see you a lot of you. Amigo.
The shots in the stands of his parents, Dr. Charles and Dot, his mother. And we will hear from Derek Jeter a little bit later in the night as we go through from the dugout. Watch a little baseball with us as we go into the fourth inning. And here's a left-hander, Sale. First pitch is outside to Stanton, who popped up his first time.
I tell you, there's another Jeter coming. The little guy sitting there, Jalen, on his grandfather's lap.
Here's Stanton hitting one to center. Back near the track is Adam Jones. 1 out.
And that's his sister Charlize's son. And he acts and looks just like Derek. He loves to play baseball all day long. You can't get him to stop playing. Pretty amazing. Fun little kid. It's his sister right there, Charlize. There's Derek. Checking out the little guy.
So with 1 out, Sale brings it home, and it was Chris Sale who won the online vote from Chicago on the south side, and it was Anthony Rizzo who won the online vote from the other side, the Chicago Cubs. And this guy's just, talk about hard to pick up. Ask Aramis Ramirez after that swing, the count 0-2.
They are coming out swinging. You got no chance if you don't. He's filthy.
And by the way, there's the guy who won the Cy Young. Line drive caught by Donaldson, 2 out.
Tell that when Chris Sale was growing up, the guy he looked up to, Randy Johnson. Remember earlier I talked about Chase Utley hanging in against left-handed pitching. There's no tougher test in the game today for a left-handed hitter than Chris Sale. This will test the strength of your knees to hang in there.
When you think about this game from the manager's perspective, you've got Mike Matheny, who's managing the National League. His Cardinal team is a game out. You've got John Farrell right there managing for the American League. His team is 9.5 games out. And Mike Matheny was very close to the vest, very guarded with what his plans were pitching-wise here tonight. John Farrell, his objective tonight, he's very open about it, was to try to get as many people in the game while leaving extra inning coverage pitching-wise on the bench. But he wants everybody to get in this ballgame. Matheny, I think, a little different feel, and Utley's grazed by the pitch down to first with 2 out.
Tom, that's your fault.
He did hang in there, didn't he?
That is your fault. I'm telling you. He cursed him, Joe.
Here's this pitch. It just caught him on the left elbow.
Man, that's a tough at-bat for a lefty, I'll tell you.
Oh, man. And John Farrell set up this pitching rotation here to alternate right and left-handed pitching, and the wheel just happened to turn up Chris Sale on Chase Utley this inning.
And so D. Gordon, Harold will come off the bench, do the running, and this is a spot where if D. Gordon can get a jump here with 2 out, he can get into scoring position in a 1-run game.
Yeah, and the only guy that's happy about not having to hit already would have been D. Gordon, because he's been facing Chris Sale. The thing to remember about D. Gordon in this game, there's a re-entry rule. He's the guy that can re-enter for the National League.
He's out there to try and read Sale and steal a base. He has stolen 43. Been caught 9 times this season.
And because LaCroix is such a good 2-strike hitter, he can give him some pitches here. Try to gauge Chris Sale and pick a pitch to run on.
With a guy like Chris Sale who drops and throws like that, may be his best move to first. You know, a lot of left-handers, they determine already in their mind if they're going to go to first or not. And if you're a good base runner, you can see how they position themselves. But his delivery home is not conducive for a good move to first base.
Late swing and a foul off the bat of Lucroy.
That's his best weapon, the slide step. Maybe get rid of it quick. When he lifts his leg and it's deliberate, because he has such a quick herky-jerky motion, he's a guy, as soon as he lifts his leg, he's going to be fast home. If he lifts it slow, he's probably coming to first. He got a little bit of a break, didn't get a good acceleration, so he pulled back, but I think he's got him red now.
That's inside from Chris Sale in his third All-Star game. He was the winner last year, went 2 innings, didn't allow a hit in a 3-0 AL win.
He was a guy that signed early and quick and got to the big leagues. Kenny Williams at that time was the GM of the White Sox, said, hey, if we get you signed, you can get to the big leagues quick, son. See the read by D.
Yeah, he definitely took a little bit of a flinch towards second base there.
Yeah, but if you can get back standing up, you've got him red. If the guy's got you picked, that's when you're diving back. And if he lifts his leg high, you go back. If he stays down low, you're going.
That's high in the count, 3-1. On deck is Carlos Gomez. 3-2 game.
The threat of the run has changed the game. See how he's had to pitch to Lucroy. The focus has not been right on him because he's thinking so much about D. Gordon. And that's what he's done with this Dodger lineup. And it's really changed the offensive output of the Dodgers.
The voice of Harold Reynolds with Tom Verducci up here in the booth. Here comes the 3-1. That's pretty well hit into right. Back on the move is Bautista over his head. Gordon flying around third base. They will bring him home without a play, and it's a tie game here in the 4th inning. As Lucroy has tied it with a 2-out RBI double.
With the chance of he got all fastballs that at bat. What a great move by Matheny. Pinch run D. Gordon, you're going to get fastballs, or maybe steals the bag. He's got a fastball. He knows it. And back to what we were talking about before, Tom. This guy hits good pitching.
Absolutely. And watch D. Gordon here, because it was not a clean relay from Bautista Cano. To me, guys, it didn't matter. Even if the throw is on target to the relay, they are not catching this guy.
Crossing the plate with a little flair was D. Gordon.
Yeah, he looked like Deion Sanders there, coming on in on a touchdown dance.
Now 2 out. Go ahead run is at second base as Lucroy has tied it. He's got a pair of doubles and a pair of RBIs.
Wow, that's impressive.
Again, the replacement starter for Yadier Molina. Now his teammate Carlos Gomez trying to bring him in. Had a good rip there. In the hole now, 0-2.
And Joe, speaking of Yadier Molina, who was the vote getter that would have been starting this game, what did Matheny tell us about a little update?
Yeah, he just said they're throwing out numbers. I mean, it could be through the end of the year. They hope maybe it's between 9 and 12 weeks. Surgery on his right thumb. Got a good backup in Tony Cruz. And they just picked up George Gutierrez. A strikeout ends the inning because Gomez is just tied the knot. But it's a new game. An inning that saw a run for the National League to tie it, but also saw this from Derek Jeter and the respect from everybody on the field and everybody here at Target Field. Nice moment here in the All-Star Game for number 2, the captain. Tie game, bottom of the 4th. big in what is now a 3-3 game. Bottom of the fourth inning, Devin Mesoraco from the Reds doing the catching. What a night for Lucroy. D. Gordon, who pinch ran and scored the run on the double by Lucroy, stays in the game to play second. And Zach Greinke, get to bring him out of the bullpen. Teammates with Clayton Kershaw and the best #2 pitcher in the game. That is a wicked low breaking ball for strike one on Bautista.
And when he's on, that's what you're going to see. The slider has such a tight spin, it's very hard for hitters to recognize it. Him and Darvish have the tightest spins on their sliders. Especially right-handed hitters, you'll see some really bad swings or check swings, difficulty of recognizing that pitch.
A guy who lost 17 games in 2005 with Kansas City. He's become one of baseball's best. 2 bounces and the out at first out of the hand of Aramis Ramirez. This summer, get together for a priceless cause to help fight cancer. Spend $10 or more with your MasterCard when you dine out, and MasterCard will donate up to $4 million, one precious cent at a time. Visit priceless.com/causes to learn more. Bautista 0 for 2. The batter will be Nelson Cruz, who was voted in as the starting DH, a guy who was suspended last year the final 50 games of the regular season for his involvement with performance-enhancing drugs and that biogenesis scandal out of Florida, and he gets the fan vote to be a starter here in Minneapolis.
You know, I was actually more surprised, Joe, because that obviously shows fans are willing to move on, forgive and forget. More surprised that he was on the market as long as he was this winter. Turned it out to be quite a bargain for the Baltimore Orioles. 1 year, $8 million. This guy slugged over 500 last year. And let's remember, yes, he served the suspension last year, but biogenesis wasn't around last year. The infraction was from 2012.
Here's a 1-1. Greinke gets it by him at 92, and the count 1-2.
Yeah, but I think one of the reasons he was on the market for so long is the whispers were, what kind of player are you getting? You don't know if it was mixed up, made up power, or is it for real and legit? He's gone out and proved that this year. It's been a great find for the Orioles.
He'll be a free agent next year, and he should seemingly have his pick. Who wouldn't line up for a guy who can either play the outfield or DH? He's hitting .287, #2 in the AL to the rookie Abreu with his 28 home runs, 74 RBIs in a first-place club on a 1 year, $8 million deal. A 1-2, got him swinging. So with 2 down, the batter will be Adam Jones. Every fall, there's one new show that has everyone talking, and this is it. Ever wonder how supervillains like Penguin and Catwoman got their start? Fox brings you the epic story of Gotham. Don't miss the series premiere Monday, September 22nd, right here on Fox. 2 out, nobody on. Adam Jones will dig in, and now we get a chance to talk about a guy who has really developed consistent power, and according to his manager Buck Showalter, who's done such a great job in Baltimore, he is really now the undisputed leader of that club.
Well, he really is, and that's why, you know, Nelly Cruz was able to fit in there so well. Chris Davis got traded over that way. He has been the voice, the guy they look to, the leader, and it's really helped give us a foundation for Buck.
Second All-Star start. He takes outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I don't know if the fluorescent green goes with the Oriole orange and black, but he seems to be making it work, right?
Yeah, it's easy to notice. That got Mesoraco on the helmet or mask and all the way back over the backstop for strike 2. Right off the front of the mask and then over the back stop and the screen into the seats.
Don't see that very often where you get that kind of a carol.
So Jones set up at 1-2. A strikeout from the right-hander Greinke, who pitches a perfect 4th, like his teammate Kershaw pitched a perfect 2nd. Let's go to the 5th inning. Tied at 3. by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters everywhere August 1st. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Real big summer is in full swing thanks to Pepsi, made with real sugar. And taking fans without tickets and giving them the best seats in the house. As they give them a real seat upgrade. And there they are. So they get to watch in a better seat. You get to watch in high definition, and you get to watch Derek Norris take over behind the plate. Jose Altuve from the now American League Houston Astros at second, and Max Scherzer, Cy Young Award winner last year, pitches up and in ball one to McCutchen. Scherzer 32-6 the last 2 years. Breaking ball for a strike.
You know, of all the guys that are starters that are pitching in today's game, I always looked at Scherzer as a guy when he was in Arizona, came in as a closer, he broke into the league. He's used to that one-inning resume thing.
Inside corner, strike two.
And it was funny, Arizona traded him because they weren't sure that he would hold up as a 30-start, 200-inning guy in the big leagues. A little bit of deception in that delivery with the way the head goes to the side, but boy, has he been durable for Detroit.
He bounces that in 2-2. Second All-Star game for Scherzer. He started last year. Started last year's season at 13-0 on his way to that Cy Young Award. And the Tigers are rolling again in the AL Central. Chopper to third. True hop for Donaldson. High throw and got him. McCutchen tagged by Cabrera on the high throw from Donaldson. Here is Puig, and you get a lot with number 66 of the Dodgers.
Well, I tell you what, you talk about popularity.
Da Puig.
The popularity of this guy. When we were in LA in the beginning of the year, you remember the ovation he got? And here on the parade today, everybody's screaming for this kid.
Was that the day that he was late for the home opener?
Yeah.
That was the day.
That day.
Well, now nobody on, and a ball inside to Puig, who has 2 strikeouts tonight. Dynamic, electrifying, and really figuring it out on the field. A lot fewer mistakes, a lot fewer base running mistakes, throwing to the wrong base, airmailing it over a cutoff man. He's calmed that part of his game down.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got to get the iron out once in a while on those wrinkles. That's going to take some time, but I've never seen a guy whose plate discipline improve so quickly. It was almost like a light went on early in the season for him, and he realized how good he could be if he just hit strikes. Came up, he said, I can hit anything. And he really has reduced the amount of swing percentage. The number of times he actually swings the bat really cut down on it. Very unusual to see it happen so quickly.
One of 5 Cuban-born players in this 85th Major League Baseball All-Star Game as that bounces in, and now Puig is up on the count 3-1.
Yeah, and you know the unique thing about the Cuban-born, we saw the graphic there, Rafael Palmeiro. Palmeiro went to Mississippi State and was a lot, used to being in this country. If you go to college over here, obviously so. These guys that are coming over now, they're leaving everything behind them, and they're coming at a later age.
The 3-1. That's foul. Here they are. Puig is one of them. You've got Jose Abreu, Alexi Ramirez, who we've seen in this game, Aroldis Chapman, and in the middle, Yoenis Cespedes.
And I think we forget about the sacrifice they make, man. You're leaving your whole family to come to a whole new country to play ball.
A strikeout for out number 2 as Puig chased it, and he struck out 3 times tonight.
Well, this is what Max Scherzer can do to you. 3-2 slider moving away from you. We talked about the plate discipline, but that ball, Puig is convinced, is a sinker down over the plate. And goodbye, just disappears off the plate.
Batter will be Tulowitzki. I mean, we're obviously entering a new era where guys are getting out of Cuba off the island for whatever reason. Murky circumstances there, but it's not only improved Major League Baseball here, it's really affected the Cuban national play. Guys who would typically be playing for the national team in Cuba are here, and they are stars here.
And they're young, 23, 24, making an impact.
Strike one on Tulowitzki.
And the big question was, what level can you judge by the Cuban national team? And the story with Puig, but Logan White with the Dodgers, and went to Mexico to see him, and he had literally 35 minutes to make a decision on a workout on $30 million. I'd say Logan did pretty good.
Yeah. The count goes to 2-1.
That sounds like a game show. You've got 35 minutes, sir, to make a decision.
They signed Puig to the deal. He shot to the big leagues. And big reason why they are as dangerous as anybody in the National League, as is Tulowitzki. Into deep right. This ball is off the wall, and Tulowitzki's going to dig for second. Throw by Bautista is not in time as Tulowitzki got around the tag of Ramirez.
I love the swim move by Tulo. As you're going, you can see the ball coming in. Watch him pull the arm away. Right there, they're saying, hey, should we replay that? No, they didn't touch me. I love this. His right arm is going to be extended out as he slides. He's going to pull it back. Nice piece of hit and taking it the other way. But the play for me, Bautista makes a great throw, but it's the slide by Tulo. Watch this. I love it. Take the arm, pull it back away. It's called the swim move.
Good throw by Bautista, as you mentioned, but it's a double, and with that slide, the go-ahead runs at second with 2 out here in the 5th. For a producer, tied for second in the National League, Goldschmidt will dig in. Ball's 0 for 2. Big hole on the right side of the infield as strike one heads out of play.
And he can shoot it that way. I think you saw in that swing. This guy can leave the park often to the right side of the field. Love his approach at the plate. Uses his lower half and reminds me of Buster Posey. Very similar setup at the plate. Very comfortable hitting the ball the other way.
Trying to put the National League on top for the first time tonight. Late with that swing at 95, strike 2.
That ball had something on it right there. You know, the thing about Scherzer, too, he can locate. Look where the glove for Norris is. He just hits the target. And that's what's so impressive. He can throw all his pitches, but he's hitting his spots. And that's why he's taken off in the last few years.
Runner at second, 2 out in the 0-2. Struck him out as Goldschmidt chased it. 2 strikeouts in the inning, and Scherzer gets around the double by Tulowitzki. Halfway through it, bottom of the 5th inning rolls in. Tied at 3. First All-Star game, and he's pitching it in his hometown. Great ovation, and this delivery is in the category of unique. And he throws hard. He throws hard from underneath and sidearm as he deals with Josh Donaldson. He's just been a machine for the Cardinals as he hits the outside corner, strike 2.
Yeah, you wonder how a guy gets to the point where he has this kind of a delivery, and that's just tinkering it with it, working and working, and he's worked himself here to the All-Star game.
That's just missed outside, ball 1.
Saw that Brooklyn Park. That's only about 10 miles from right here at Target Field. Fabulous story.
He's been through a lot. On the field, certainly off the field. As this one is hit right side. Nice play. Goldschmidt to Neshek and got him for the out. What a play by Paul Goldschmidt, laying out to his right.
Well, that's beautiful. And this is where the game has changed a lot, Joe, where that first baseman plays in that hole. I think Albert Pujols was really the first guy that I saw really plug that hole. Keith Hernandez did it back in the day. But this is where the first baseman stands. He's a long ways from the bag. And leaves it on the pitcher to get over there and make the play. It's a great play.
Good play by Neshek as that throw was a little bit behind Pat, but he made the catch, got to the bag for out number 1. So Donaldson is 0 for 2, and the batter will be Donaldson's teammate Derek Norris. First at bat of the night. He's taking over behind the plate for Salvador Perez. Strike 1.
We talked about what Pat Neshek has been through. Certainly going to spring training on a minor league contract with the St. Louis Cardinals, who are loaded in young pitching, is really the least of it. Back in 2012, he and his wife Stephanie lost their newborn son. Base hit to left field. Garrett John Neshek came back and actually pitched a postseason game for the Oakland Athletics in the division series. Stephanie and Pat blessed young Hoyt Wilhelm in March of this season, shortly before he made the Cardinals team. Never dreamed of being an all-star in this situation. To have it here in his home ballpark at Target Field, just an amazing story.
First at bat for Alexi Ramirez, and Neshek had the honor of being told in front of the team by his manager Mike Matheny, who picked him and decided that here in the 5th inning was the inning for Neshek, who misses outside ball 1.
And oh, by the way, he has a brother who works on the grounds crew right here at Target Field. His brother Paul.
It's his little brother Paul. Watching his big brother pitch in the All-Star game, and after the 1-out hit, the count is 2-0. From earlier today, before the All-Star game, there's Paul, part of the tarp crew here at Target Field. 1 on, 1 out. That's ball 3, and Neshek is working his way into trouble here in the 5th.
Yeah, you don't want to get to the heart of this order, as we've already witnessed early in this game. You go to Trout and Cabrera and on through, and Cano, Cabrera, you name it, it's tough.
Trout on deck. Here's a 3-0. There's a strike. First All-Star game for Alexi Ramirez. He's got great range defensively, likes to pull the ball. Silver Slugger Award back in 2010. Won an Olympic gold medal with Cuba in 2004. That's hit in the air to right, into the corner. Long run, and Puig is out of room on a foul ball. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Robinson, you were teammates with Derek Jeter for so many years in New York. What was it like tonight, being his double play partner in his final All-Star game?
Man, it was a great experience, you know. Be back on the same field with Derek and special his last All-Star game. And, I mean, that was fun, and, you know, it was good to be back with him in the same field.
He had the 2 hits. He had the good play on McCutchen in short. How did he look to you?
Man, he looked good. And if I were him, I would have retired this year. I would have played another year. But, I mean, that's him.
The moment when he left the field, what was going through your mind at that time?
Man, that was very emotional, you know, especially that energy, the crowd, you know, that standing ovation. That was that was really amazing.
Robinson, thanks very much. Joe, back to you.
Well, he's brought a lot, Robinson Cano, to Seattle. And that team is much improved, and he's a big reason why. Well, their leadoff spot in the American League lineup is 3 for 3. Jeter was 2 for 2. Ramirez has a base hit. And now here comes the AL with 2 on, only 1 out, and Mike Trout digging in.
Well, you're touching on it, Joe. He got himself in a little bit of trouble. And Trout has been feasting with runners in scoring position this year.
Well, he's aware of this right-hander from Pat's time in Oakland. So Trout is not looking out at this funky delivery for the first time. As Tyler Clippard, the right-hander from the Nationals, gets loose after Neshek fell behind Mike Trout, is 1 for 2.
Well, it's an interesting matchup because I think Mike Trout is the best low ball hitter in the major leagues. Obviously, Neshek likes to live down there.
Breaking ball stays up and in, and the count 2-0.
Very unique for a right-handed hitter to really have that swing. You're right. I've been watching him over the last year and a half. He's one guy that goes down and gets that ball as good as anybody.
That's chopped to third. It's a fair ball. It gets past Ramirez. 1 run will score. That's Norris. They bring Ramirez and now Holman as Gomez comes up firing, and the AL leads it again 4-3.
I'll tell you what, Ronald Ramirez tried to smother that ball. I think he thought it was foul. I know he's trying to catch it, but his reaction after it got past him, it's one of those, I'm going to knock it down in case it's fair. And all the ball has to do is go over the base fair, but that looks like a foul ball from that perspective.
Yeah, but I think over the bag, that ball's in fair territory. It doesn't matter where it lands because it did bounce first. Over the bag, I believe it was fair, and it was interesting. I thought Ramirez kind of held up himself there.
Well, watch Ramirez's reaction. A lot of times this will tell you a lot. When the guy reacts afterwards, he's like, oh, well, I missed it. He's like, what?
So it's a fair ball. It's an RBI double for Trout. And Neshek's night is finished. Matheny goes to the bullpen. Clippard coming in for the NL, now down 1. Got Barry in this All-Star game. We've looked at it a number of times. This ball hits on the line and then just has to go over any part of the bag. Watching it during the break, and I think because it is, as you were saying, Tom, during the break, foul, at least after the bag, by inches, you have to believe that ball did travel over the base and was indeed a fair ball.
A little bit of hook to that. Give Scott Barry, the third base umpire, credit. Perfect position to see that ball over the bag.
So Clippard takes over with Altuve at the plate, second and third, and the second baseman for the Houston Astros goes after the first pitch, strike one.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, at first sight, I thought that ball was foul. But when I looked at the umpire's positioning, nobody had a better look than he did. So you got to go with what he called. Look fair.
Altuve is 5'6", second-time All-Star. And this guy has defied the odds to get to this point, and he is a player. He's proven he can hit the high pitch. He's a good base stealer. That breaking ball comes right back to the catcher. And safe at third is Ramirez with great base running.
Wow. That was something else. I mean, look, the play by the catcher, Mesoraco. What's this, though? Turns around, gets a bare hand, and has the presence to know I'm going to have a play. And Alexi with a great read. Sometimes when you go to a ballpark you haven't been to, you have a tough time understanding that. He's played enough games in this park. I'm sure Alexi was well aware that ball comes back off the wall hard. Had that been a National League base runner, you might have had a play.
It's a good thing they worked on that before the game.
I mean, if he delays at all, he's out at third. Instead, he's at third. Trout at second, one out. And this one is hammered to left. Altuve hits it to the track. Tagging and scoring easily is Ramirez. And the RBI for the Houston Astros, Jose Altuve, to make it 5-3.
It's a great baseball play all the way around. You know, great throw back in from Gomez and left. But Alexi made that play the pitch before, and then Altuve just put the ball in play. Hit it hard somewhere. He got a ball he could drive.
Altuve, Tom's a guy who wouldn't take no for an answer when he showed up at the baseball camp for the Houston Astros in Venezuela.
Astros ran a tryout camp, and he showed up. About 40 players were there, and they said only 15 were going to come back for the second day. They told him to go home and stay home because he just wasn't big enough. So what did he do the next day? He showed up. And they said, all right, as long as you're here, we'll give you a tryout again. And guess what? He got himself a contract for the Houston Astros.
Well, he knew that Al Padrique was not there, who was running the camp that first day. And his dad convinced him to go back and let Padrique see him. And when Padrique saw him do everything, he said, yeah, this guy can play. And the Astros have an all-star second baseman. That's high to Miguel Cabrera, and they count 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's the beauty of this game. You know, you go from the little to the big. I mean, you look at Miguel Cabrera, he's 6'4", 250, and you got Altuve, who's 5'6", 140, you know? And that's the great thing about this game of baseball. Your size, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be 6'7" to play guard or something like that. You can play baseball at any height, any weight, name it.
Good fastball from Clippard. Count 1 and 2. Clippard trying to get out of the inning without any further damage. The 2 runs scored against Neshek. The other 3 runs scored against Neshek's teammate Adam Wainwright. The 2 Cardinal pitchers giving up all the runs tonight for the National League. Here's a 1-2. 2-2.
Tyler Clippard's another reason that the Nationals are so deep. You look at that bullpen that they have, Tom, and the starting pitching we talk about a lot, but that is one of the deepest bullpens in all of baseball.
I'm telling you, this is a manager's secret weapon. A guy who every year is going to pitch more than 70 games for you and really hasn't shown the wear and tear. Changeup is definitely the out pitch.
The 2-2 is fouled out of play.
Relief pitching, such hard work. It's not even just the games you get in, it's the games where you have to get up in the bullpen. Pitching 2-3 days in a row, but Clippard really has bounced back very well from all the work the last 3-4 years.
Cabrera waits for another 2-2 from Clippard. Runner at second, 2 out. And that's down into the corner. It is a foul ball.
Cabrera just shoots one down the line, and the count stays 2-2.
Tell you what, the stars have shown up tonight, though. Now, Miguel, we've watched him hit the home run to left, and Joe, you talked about this so eloquently earlier, how he goes line to line. To take that ball right there and shoot that down that line, we've watched Trout put on a show, Jeter put on a show. The stars have shown up. This is fantastic. If I was a kid at home, I'd be having a blast right now. I'm a grown man. I'm having a blast.
We're glad you're with us.
Thank you. And I even get to talk about it. It's ridiculous.
2-2 the count on Cabrera. Runner at second, 2 out. That's a foul ball. By the way, on that ball hit by Trout down the line for the RBI double, because the play was in front of the umpire, it's considered an infield fair or foul call. It's not reviewable. We're under the review system. First year of that review system, which has really been a positive for Major League Baseball. Great umpire. Jerry Lane is in New York. He's the replay official that, if we go to that, would be the guy making the decision. Jerry in his 26th year umpiring in the big leagues. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Fly ball into center, got under it. McCutchen is there, and that ends the inning. 2-run inning for the American League. RBIs by Trout and Altuve. Go to the 6th. National League will bat. Down 5-3. Bob Dylan wrote that song, Forever Young. Bob Dylan from Hibbing, Minnesota. And Derek Jeter joins us from down in the dugout. Have you been able to catch your breath, Derek, here tonight?
You talking about from that double?
Yeah.
Anytime
Exactly.
I go past first base, it takes me a while to catch my breath.
Well, you know, you're 40 now, so, you know, it gets a little bit tougher at 40.
Well, you're 58, so I'm sure it's tough for you, buddy.
Hey, I got to ask you, how, you know, you get this big ovation, and as we see Scott Kazmir coming in to throw from the Oakland A's, and you get the ovation, you look out, Wainwright standing there clapping for you, too. How tough was that to get back in the box and focus?
Well, I mean, I've never faced Adam before. I've always appreciated and respected the way he goes out and handles himself, not only on the mound but off the field as well. So, you know, you can't say enough about it. I have the utmost respect for him, and for him to do that meant a lot to me. And you know, I tried to get him to pick up his glove and start the game, but he allowed a few more moments. So I always remember that.
A foul backing out of play off the bat of Stanton. Now the American League up by 2. Derek, this experience I know can be overwhelming. I think Altuve said it best when he said, you're not just the Yankee captain, you're the captain of Major League Baseball. You've carried around a lot of pressure since you came up with the Yankees in '95, Rookie of the Year in '96. How have you been able to compartmentalize your life, stay out of trouble, do your job, and be a champion with the Yankees?
Well, you know, I remember I came up with an organization that if you didn't do your job, they'd get rid of you. So I always understood that my priorities were on the field first. And, you know, I try to do that every year. I always feel as though I'm playing for my job, and I try to stay out of trouble. Everybody makes mistakes, but I try to learn from my mistakes and other people's mistakes.
Well, Derek, as Joe said, Jose Altuve called you the captain of baseball. You had a little speech there to the guys before the game. How did that come about? Was that something you were prepared for?
No, John had mentioned that he was going to ask us a couple questions, so you know, he called upon me and just said a couple of things. I mean, these guys here, I know how difficult this game is, and you're talking about the guys in our clubhouse and the other opposing clubhouse. I mean, these are guys that are the best in the world at playing this game, and they make it look easy, and yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Hey, Derek, how fun has this been? How fun is this game?
The game is fun. You know, I always look forward to playing, getting on the field and getting an opportunity to meet and talk to some guys that I've admired from, respected from afar, and guys you don't really get the opportunity to speak much to during the course of the season. But actually getting on the field and playing the game, that's the fun part.
Now, I'm looking at the on-deck circle over there, and I see D. Gordon. D was probably like 5 years old when you met him. What is that like, man?
I was 5 years old when I met you, so don't ever forget that. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. You know, D, I played with his dad, like you said, and Dad was always bragging about him and his brothers as well, and it's great to see that they're coming up and having a lot of success here. But he's got a very bright future, and, you know, I've enjoyed watching him play.
You think you're going to miss this?
For the interview? Or?
No, I know you don't want to do that. Here's one down the line off the bat of Ramirez. He's going to dig for second. There's a play on him. Cespedes just airmailed it. Had a shot at Ramirez, and Aramis Ramirez has his second hit of the night.
Derek, you had a good angle on that. You thought he was going to have him, huh?
I thought he was. You know, I've seen Cespedes throw out a lot of people, so I thought we might get him.
I asked that question, Derek, because the Major League Baseball life is so routine-driven, and you've done this since you were a kid, and now here you are. Everybody talks about 40. You're tired of talking about your age, but you're going to be in a different phase of your life. How much do you think you're going to miss the competition and being in a big league clubhouse?
Yeah, I'll miss the competition. I'll miss being around the guys. I'll miss the game itself. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some other things, and being able to not have a schedule is the thing that I'm looking forward to the most.
A little tired of the buses and the flights and being herded around like you're in grade school?
I've been doing it for a while. I mean, this is 20 years ago I came up. So
here's one up the middle. Altuve makes a play. Steals a play here to get the speedy D. Gordon 2 out. What a good play on both ends. How about that, Derek Jeter?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm pulling for Altuve to make the play or for D to get the first. You know what I mean? But we need to win this game.
We're going to get a pitching change. You can't leave because we're just going to keep you until the other side of the break, and then we'll let you go. Is that all right?
That sounds good.
All right, Kazmir is finished. He's going to leave with a runner at third, 2 out. Pitching change. Farrell is coming out. He's going to bring in his own guy. Koji Uehara He'll take over. He'll face the tying run at the plate as we play in the 6th inning in the All-Star game. Into the game, trying to keep this a 2-run game. Runner at third, 2 out. Batter will be Devin Mesoraco with Aramis Ramirez at third, and the Red Sox closer, that filthy splitter that he throws right there, is into the game. Derek Jeter still with us for the rest of the top of the inning, and we've seen your dad Charles, your mom Dot, great sister Charlie in attendance. This has been a family affair for you, Derek, almost since day one, hasn't it?
Yeah, my parents always like to come to the All-Star game, and they enjoy the experience, and you know, they're like me, never take for granted you're going to get the opportunity to come back. So I've had at least one of them, I think both of them, at all of them. So it's been fun family time for us.
And little Jalen's up there too, man. He's just jumping up and down. Every time you did something, he was watching you tight.
Yeah, he gets kind of intimidated in front of big crowds, so hopefully he gets used to it.
Derek, I know your parents told you on that countdown to 3,000, make sure you enjoy it a little bit, reflect a little bit. I know your schedule's been crazy the last 48 hours, but have you had time to think about your history with this great All-Star game?
A little bit, but you know, it's kind of tough to change a mindset, the mindset that I've had my entire career. You know, I try to focus on the game we're playing and the next day, and I try not to look too far in the future or reflect too much.
It's been an honor covering you, Derek Jeter, and thanks for your time here tonight. Congratulations.
No problem. Thank you.
We got into the baseball business at Fox in 1996. That was his first All-Star appearance in 1998. Young and old, still great. An American icon saying goodbye here tonight. It's been a joy. 5-3 AL on top after 5.5. call him K-Rod. Francisco Rodriguez, 27 out of 30 for the first place Milwaukee Brewers. He's their closer. ERA at 2.5. He brings it home. Cespedes, first at bat of the night, takes a strike.
And that's been the biggest change for K-Rod is he's re-established that fastball. It's not 95, 97 anymore. He got away from throwing it. And now he's back throwing that fastball. It sets up all the rest of his pitches.
Cespedes batting in the spot that was first occupied by Batista. Count evens at a ball and a strike with Kyle Seager from the Mariners on deck. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Chopped to third. Just into the ball game. Frazier got it. We'll give you our game summary. It's brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. Jeter, oldest player with multiple hits in an All-Star game, went 2 for 2. Came out in the top of the 4th inning. Lucroy's had a great night. 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. Miguel Cabrera, his first career All-Star game home run, and Mike Trout. No surprise, another night, a couple more hits with an RBI triple, an RBI double, and a run scored.
How about Trout and Cabrera at it again? Who's going to win? You know, type of deal.
Everywhere they go, they're linked. Trout's been number 2 in the MVP voting the last 2 years, losing to Miguel Cabrera. Here's Seager. He has really developed. The infielder for the Seattle Mariners, and that Mariners club is getting better and better, and they're hitting now with that great pitching.
Well, that's the key. We talked to Ron Washington last week in Texas. He said they always had the pitching. This team can hit now, and this is a big reason why right here, Kyle Seager.
Well, I talked to Kyle yesterday at length, and he raved about Robinson Cano and the addition of having him being able to talk about approach. And one of the things Cano did with Seager is started talking to him about hitting the ball the other way. He was getting too pull happy, and it opened the whole game up for him.
That is pulled right to the first baseman Freeman, just into the game. Freddie the bag, 2 out. You could win a VIP experience to the 2014 World Series thanks to Head and Shoulders. Simply follow at HS for Men on Twitter and tweet #WIF at HS for Men during the All-Star game, and you could win. So 2 out, nobody on in the first at bat of the night. The great Adrian Beltre, who is launching himself with his play into the Hall of Fame conversation. Ball 1.
Well, he really has, Joe. You look at the numbers, and we forget this guy came into the big leagues at 19 years old. So he's had some time to put some numbers up as well.
How does he hit with his helmet down that low? He's like the Andy Pettit of batters. Remember that look from Pettit? The cap always down? Now look at that.
Here comes a 1-0 pitch. They talk about how great in this new ballpark. It's in its 5th year. This ballpark is as beautiful a park as you're going to find anywhere in the country. The lights here, kind of the next generation of lights, it's bright. And that could be why Beltre has the bill of that batting helmet pulled as low as he does.
For whatever reason he does, I'm still tripping the fact that Tom finds these little quirky things. I would have never seen that.
No, I'm with you.
Where do you find these little things?
I just always notice this about him, and I got to ask him about it. I mean, I'm guessing it keeps his focus on the baseball. It really basically cuts out everything else.
That's up and away, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Beltre here with 2 out in the 6th.
Like the great Rod Carew used to say, he had that chawed tobacco, so he'd keep that eye a little sharper on the pitcher. You know, he couldn't open his eye the whole way, but he had it focused entirely on the pitcher. There he is.
Indeed. You know, it's like George Brett, they said when he tilted his head to the side, he had great vision. When he sat straight up, he didn't have good vision at all. It's crazy.
So after the walk, the batter is Michael Brantley. Harold, you played with his dad, And this kid is just starting to figure it out. His manager, Terry Francona, really thinks that we are looking at one of the next great players in this game.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I played with his dad, Mickey Brantley, in the Seattle Mariner organization, and Mickey went on to be hitting coach in the big leagues with Blue Jays for a period of time. He was always a guy that could study and hit, and Michael really took to his dad helping him at an early age.
That's chopped right side. That's a nice sliding play by Gordon, and what a stretch. Great defensive play by D. Gordon. Thrown to the big first baseman, Freddie Freeman, who did the splits. What a play by Gordon. What a stretch by Freeman. Into the 7th inning, 5-3 AL. Back after this from your local Fox station.
Here? Oh, yeah. Mike Trout and Giancarlo Stanton. I hope they don't hurt us.
You know what I do to scoreboards?
Darn tootin'.
You betcha.
Relax. They'd have to hit one 500 feet.
I hit one 489 feet.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
He hit it. It's coming right for us. No, 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 no.
Two of the young sluggers in this game and two of the rising superstars in Major League Baseball in this city of Minneapolis, the Twin Cities. St. Paul, it has been such a great host to this 85th Major League Baseball All-Star Game. This city has been lit up by all the personnel from Major League Baseball, fans coming through. And I'm telling you, this ballpark, if you haven't seen it, you're a baseball fan, you need to. Greg Holland takes over. Josh Harrison first at bat. A super utility player and a big part of the success in Pittsburgh. Pops it up into right, caught by Moss, one away, and now, guys, we're into a spot where the American League has got a 2-run lead. We're past the starting pitchers, and it's one closer after the next coming in for the AL.
And this is where the game gets tough, you know, because you're seeing all these different closers. You're also getting first at bats from guys too. It reminds me of the old jamboree. Remember that jamboree? It's like we watched 9 different games tonight by the time this is over.
It's been fun. It's been a well-played game. A couple of hiccups on the mound. Craig Kimbrell is in the bullpen getting ready. John Farrell, who won it all last year, is manager of the Boston Red Sox and always been kind to us at Fox, managing tonight, pulling all the strings and joining us from down in the dugout. John, you having any fun?
Joe, how you guys doing here?
We're doing great. How are you doing down there?
Well, we're doing okay. I mean, we've got incredible roster to choose from, and we're able to match up, and you know, we've been able to swing about pretty good, and obviously guys on the mound are doing a good job.
Yeah, you kept it pretty simple when you talked to us before the game. You said, I'm going to try to get everybody in the game, which is kind of a throwback, but you said our guys are good enough that if I do that, we should win the ball game.
Well, we're in a position to right now. We're still quite a few outs to record here, but you know, when you start to consider the names that are on our roster, there's really no wrong choice, and it's a joy to be here the last couple of days and obviously be involved in this game.
Hey, John, it's Harold here. I got to ask you, you're pitching and you're coach and now you're managing. What pitcher that you saw tonight stood out to you like I hadn't seen before? It's unbelievable watching him.
Well, I think this guy right here, I mean, we only get to see Kansas City every now and then. And, you know, when you get a guy that's got this kind of stuff, it doesn't matter if it's right-handed, left-handed. You know, I think when you start to get into the closers that you can pick from, they're going to have dominant stuff, and the group that we have left to get to the mound tonight each possess that.
What about the National League?
Well, I think anytime you see a Clayton Kershaw pitch, I think it's pretty much a treat. And you know, we say that from field level, but I'm sure everybody out in L.A. that sees him pitch every 5 days, it's certainly a treat. You know, you consider 41 consecutive scoreless innings that was just run up by him. You know, he's doing some things at the major league level that you don't see very often.
Well, John, what about this luxury of choices you have with all these closers? Your own closer in the 6th inning. You hear the punch out from Greg Holland, one of the top closers in the league, getting outs in the 7th inning. How do you choose?
Well, I think, you know, going back to what you said a minute ago, trying to get everybody to the mound as much and everybody on the field, we'll probably break up these final 2 innings, you know, just to ensure that we get Rodney, Doolittle, and Perkins. Like I said, we've got 3 guys remaining to get to the mound that are all worthy of some action tonight.
Yeah, last question for you. One of those closers you just mentioned, Perkins, is the hometown guy. Not only that he's a Minnesota Twin, but he is from this area. It'd be neat to be able to hand him the ball to end the night.
Yeah, it sure would. I mean, there's certain things that you're kind of handed, given some side stories, whether it's certainly Derek Jeter in his final game here tonight, or, you know, like you said, a local guy that, you know, maybe we can match he and his battery mate and Kurt Suzuki up to finish things out.
Yeah, you get your buddy Francona down there as one of your coaches, and you get to manage Derek Jeter's final All-Star game. That's not bad.
Again, it's an honor to be involved in this, and we're fortunate that some of these things have come our way.
Hey, whether it's regular season, postseason, All-Star game, thanks for all your help, John.
Okay, guys, have a good one.
All right, that's John Farrell. His club is up by a score of 5-3. So here we are in the 7th inning stretch. And with the American League coming up with the 9-1-2 hitters against a new pitcher, Craig Kimbrell for the National League, it's time for everybody here at Target Field to stand and stretch. And now for the introduction of God Bless America, let's join public address announcer Adam Abrams.
At this time, please welcome 4-time Grammy nominee and country music superstar, Joe Nichols.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, wide with foam, God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
With a look at the Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan, we bring it back here to Minneapolis. Well done by Joe Nichols. Bottom of the 7th rolls in when we come back. Is sponsored by Pepsi. Make this a real big summer with Pepsi. Live for now. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. And by T-Mobile. This game moves into the bottom of the 7th inning. 5-3. American League on top. Daniel Murphy is in the game at second base. Real good hitter from the New York Mets. And there's nobody better at doing this from the National League than Craig Kimbrell. They'll try to keep this a 2-run game. 5'11", 220, not a big guy, but he can bring it. 96 miles per hour, and he's led the National League in saves the last 3 years.
Not a big guy, but one of the quickest arms you will ever see. Upper 90s velocity, and when he throws his breaking ball for a strike, literally the hitter has no chance.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Norris at the plate, and that breaking ball had Derek frozen. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Right on cue. You have no chance because you have to honor that 96. And what Tom's talking about with that quick arm and trigger, he's got such a short snap release. He comes out of the same slot with the breaking ball. It's impossible.
There it is again. This one misses for ball 2. Derek 1 for 1 with a single. A 1-out single against Pat Neshek in the 5th inning. He scored on the RBI double by Mike Trout. He's had a big night tonight. There's Doolittle. He's the closer now, the left-hander for the A's. Sean getting ready out in the bullpen as strike 2 is by the bat. Derek Norris.
That was some cheddar, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mercy.
Especially, I mean, not that he's ever easy to face, but when you've never seen him before, like Derek Norris, my goodness, you think you've got it timed, especially above the hands, no chance.
Norris, part of that fun group in Oakland. He strikes out to start this 7th.
You know what made that fastball so tough to catch up to is the 2 breaking balls that he threw. He gets that in your mind, you can forget it. You have to look fastball off this guy. Kind of hides the ball on you, and the next thing you know, it just jumps on you.
We'll show you just how fun some of those A's are next inning. Is Alexi Ramirez, who's 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. He had the honor of taking over for Derek Jeter in the top of the 4th inning. First time All-Star takes a ball. Derek's still there clapping and having fun in that dugout.
He loves being around the guys. You know, you can see it, and that's why he was so quick to want to get that wire off him and the microphone away so he could hang out and talk to the guys.
Strike 1.
It was a fun interview, though.
Remember that 2008 All-Star game at Yankee Stadium? Lasted all through the night, right? How many innings was it? 14, 15 innings?
14 innings.
There was Derek on the top rail the entire night.
Finally a chance in the sanctity of the dugout to just hang out. Only time you probably had any peace and quiet was maybe out at shortstop.
You're right. I mean, it's almost like an entertainer in that their only time they have a chance to get away from everybody is on the stage. So when he gets to the ballpark, this is his chance. You go anywhere with him. He's followed by fans. He's followed by everything. Escorts, you name it. Policemen, giving him escorts everywhere, protecting him.
Well, you better clean that. Here's a foul right side, and Freeman cannot make the play.
Yeah, get that straight. You know what I meant. The police escort.
Okay.
All right. Heck of an effort right here by Freddie, though.
3 gloves. Nobody made the catch.
I think if I'm the fan, I'm going for that ball. You going for that ball?
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Freeman, the biggest of the 3. Nobody could come up with it. The at-bat lives on for Alexi Ramirez. Fernando Rodriguez. Here's a ground ball right side. It's off the glove of Freeman and to the bag safely is Ramirez. Francisco Rodriguez with a scoreless 6th inning, and now Kimbrel. We'll wait and see what they call it. This ball was hard hit, came up on Freeman. That'd be a tough error if they give him an error.
Yeah, and sometimes you get tough errors. That's a ball he thought he had smothered, but the second hop got him. Ends up being a short hop, and he shooted off the grass and ends up being a short hop on you. The ball's hit hard.
And it is an error. Tricky second hop, and Alexi Ramirez is on with 1 out here in the 7th inning. This spot belonged to Mike Trout. Now it belongs to Brandon Moss. What a great story he is. In a game full of great stories. Brandon Moss, his first All-Star game, debuted with the Red Sox in 07. Played 49 games over 2 years in Boston. Traded to Pittsburgh. Was about out of the game. Made his Oakland debut in June of 2012. Hit 6 home runs in his first 9 games. And since then, he's bounced around and been a fixture somewhere in the lineup for the A's.
What he said was, Billy Beane and the Oakland A's gave me a chance to fail. Other places, if he didn't do it right away, it was on to the next guy, and he was back to the minor leagues. Oakland stuck with him, and one of the top premier power hitters from the left side now.
Runner is going. Ramirez is safe with a stolen base. Tag applied late by Starlin Castro, who's taken over at shortstop. And the runner Ramirez at second, 1 out.
Well, that's the one thing you can do with Kimbrel. He's going to have that high leg kick, and catcher's really not going to have a chance. Alexi was off with a tremendous jump.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I love the decision here by the American League. Ramirez taking the bag on Kimbrel. If you're playing for 3 straight hits on Craig Kimbrel to score a run, well, not going to happen too often. Gets himself now to score on a fluke.
runner at second with 1 out and a 1-2 count on Moss, who strikes out. 2 down. Folks, the MLB Fan Cave is back. Some of baseball's biggest stars are scheduled to visit and appear in Fan Cave videos. Check out all the latest cave happenings at MLBFancave.com. Follow at MLB Fan Cave on Twitter and like the MLB Fan Cave on Facebook. And now with a runner at second, 2 out, first at bat for Ian Kinsler, who replaced his teammate. Kinsler takes over for V-Mart. Victor Martinez, who is out with an oblique strain, he is ready to go for the second half. Kinsler gets the nod and takes a strike.
He's had a nice transition to the Tigers. You know, you don't see that very often where a guy just immediately changes teams and takes off, but he's done a nice job with that, Tom.
Give him a lot of credit. He really worked hard in the offseason, dropped about 15 or 20 pounds. He knew, Harold, he was going to a bigger park there in Detroit from what he had in Texas. Wanted to get back to a guy who sprayed the ball around and had really gap power, as opposed to in Texas, such a back leg hitter. You could let it fly in that ballpark for the home run ball.
So you see the numbers and what Kinsler's done in the American League with now the Detroit Tigers, long time with the Texas Rangers. Brandon Phillips has done his primary damage in the National League. He's hurt. Yadier Molina had surgery on his right thumb, and within hours it was second baseman Brandon Phillips having surgery on his left thumb, and that's a big piece of the puzzle not there for the Reds. There is at second, 2 out, 1-2 the count. Spoiled the pitch.
Well, that right there is something that Ian was not doing last year. He didn't really look to shoot a ball to the right side, and that would have been a pitch he would never be able to foul off. You see, I stayed in there and he just fought that off to maybe live for another pitch.
You saw Jose Abreu on deck. Boy, if Kinsler can find a way to extend this inning, who wouldn't want to see that matchup? Kimbrel on Abreu.
4th All-Star game for Kinsler. He checked his swing. He went. And the inning is over. So Kimbrel pitches a scoreless 7th. We go into the 8th inning. In Minneapolis at Target Field, National League will bat down 2.
about a little careless whisper?
Why don't we kick it Minneapolis old school style?
Go Mary Tyler Moore. You need to make an entrance.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior style.
Any other suggestions?
I got the perfect song.
Give me a
Yes.
This mop, this beard,
Chill.
streaming, flaxing, waxing. Give me
That's part of the reason why they are successful. I'm convinced. Jeff Samardzija talked to him before the game. He's the new A. And he said their only rule is to win. And he asked the guys when he got there, what do we wear on the road? And they said, well, what do you mean? Like, what do we have to wear suits? Do we have to wear sport coats? They're like, no. You're with the A's now. You have to win and have fun. And Sean Doolittle takes over. You saw Kinsler at second, Ibar at short, and now it's Doolittle's game.
And there were no arms twisted to produce that video bit there.
No, they volunteered. This is Starlin Castro, part of the cornerstone pieces for the Chicago Cubs. They're two all-stars here. Position players. You've got Castro at short, and you've got Rizzo at first. Otherwise, they are extremely young and getting younger, like with the Samardzija and Hamill trade to the A's. They're building up kids in the minor leagues, but these guys have got to be the pieces of the big league level.
There's no doubt. And to me, they are foundation pieces. And Rizzo, to me, is a born leader. And when this team is ready to win, that's exactly the kind of player that you want to pull some of those young players along. And Harold, you know, Cubs got a lot of attention in the futures game. That's where the talent is right now.
No doubt.
Here's a 1-2. Foul back. Good rip by Castro.
But that said, I think you look at the foundation of what the Cubs have been doing. I don't know how long Starlin Castro stays a Cub. When you look at Baez, you got Russell coming, you got all these minor league shortstops. I don't know. He's a piece. They might move.
Well, if they don't move him to another organization, they can move him to another position. There's a strikeout for out number one. Doolittle picks it up. And when you talk about October, talk about the postseason in 2014, the excitement and drama of baseball's postseason. A new home beginning this October as Fox Sports 1 brings you coverage of the division and championship series. Don't miss the MLB playoffs this October. Fox Sports 1. Top of the 8th inning. After the strikeout of Castro, here's Freddie Freeman. Ball one from Doolittle, who doesn't walk anybody. And that's really not that big of an exaggeration. His strikeout to walk ratio is over 30-1. 63 strikeouts, 2 walks.
The first pitch was a rare slider from Doolittle. He can live with that fastball. Smart decision against Freddie Freeman, one of the great first pitch hitters in baseball. Most likely attack with the fastball from here on out against Freeman.
1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out and nobody on. Hard hit, right side base hit. Freeman is on, and the tying run will come to the plate here in the 8th.
Well, he got a little bit of a slider there. And Tom, I'm with you. I'm surprised he didn't go. Usually we see Doolittle. Here's my fastball. I challenge it. Freddie with a nice piece. You see the break right there. He stays out. He reaches it. Was able to hook it through. Right off the end there. And stayed with it. I think this guy someday is going to win a batting title. We talk about that a lot when you hear Freddie Freeman. But because he has such ability to drive the ball around the ballpark, left field, right field lines, that gives him a shot.
First All-Star game at bat for Anthony Rizzo. He's already hit 20 home runs. That's just 3 shy of his career high. And the regime that's now in Chicago has picked this guy up basically 3 times.
You're right.
Hugh Epstein, the GM, was the GM in Boston when Rizzo was there. And Jed Hoyer went out to San Diego. And Hoyer left Boston. He trades for Rizzo. And then those 2 guys now are in Chicago, and they bring him to the Cubs. So they obviously like him.
Well, again, I think makeup is a huge part of that. You love the left-handed power. Who wouldn't? But they know about this guy's makeup from the time he was in high school when they drafted him. Off the charts makeup.
Count 1-2 with Frazier on deck. Home run threat, a guy who's got 20. 1 on, 1 out. That is foul left side, and that's a pretty good rip by Rizzo.
It really was. Now, you talk about knowing a young man. He had a battle with cancer. They stayed with him. They loved his personality, his makeup, and the toughness to get through that. And that's why they kept trading for him. They always knew the potential was there. But if you spend time around him, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And that's really the core of why they continue to chase after this kid.
Strikeout for out number 2. Rizzo goes down swinging, 2 out in the 8th.
The fastball above the hands. Again, Doolittle, he can live on that fastball alone. It's got such late life to it, creates a nice angle.
We'll have a pitching change. John Farrell will go to his bullpen with Fernando Rodney ready to go. And Todd Frazier, right-handed batter, coming up in a 2-run game, 8th inning here in Minneapolis. Here, suit up and support them in authentic 2014 All-Star Game gear. Visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at MLB.com/shop to find the largest online selection of All-Star jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Shop the official source, the MLB.com shop. Taking over in the inning is Fernando Rodney, a late ad, leading the American League in saves, 27 of 29. He's really had a career resurgence, part of that good pitching staff in Seattle. According to Robinson Cano, he's the guy that handles that bullpen. Make sure those guys do things the right way out in the pen in Seattle, and he deals with Todd Frazier. Tying run at the plate. Ball 1 inside, 89 miles per hour. First All-Star game for Todd Frazier. $19 home runs at the break. That's upstairs in the count 2-0. It's 19 home runs, 5th most by a Cincinnati Reds infielder since 1970 is the break. Outside, 3-0 with Murphy on deck. Daniel Murphy, good hitter from the Mets. Counts 3-0 on Frazier. And a 4-pitch walk from Rodney right out of the bullpen puts 2 on.
And one of the things you can, with Fernando Rodney, I think is tougher on left-handers than right because of that devastating changeup.
Well, he gets a chance to face a left-hander here with Daniel Murphy. You see, he's tied for 3rd in the National League with his 113 hits.
This guy can really hit, man. And you know what? He's worked his tail off to become a second baseman, too, to really find a position to play.
There's a strike from Rodney. Extra base hit could tie this game in the 8th.
I was wondering if we'll see the bow and arrow in the 8th inning from Fernando Rodney. We saw it in pregame introductions. Of course, normally that's reserved for saving the last out of the game.
That drops in for a strike. 0-2.
And there's that changeup, and that's the equalizer. You know, when he can get the velocity going and then drop the changeup on you, it's a tough pitch. Look at this right here, the circle change. He left it up, but you don't recognize it if you hadn't seen it before.
And if you haven't seen it before, as this ball is going to head out of play left side, he has the hat cocked to the side, and he believes not only is it his style, but that it bothers the hitter. I don't know if you're going to buy that, but that's one of the reasons why he does it. It just looks off for a hitter when they look out at the pitcher and the bill of the cap is pointing midway down the first baseline.
Turned all the way around. I guess the hitter would be blind, right?
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Murphy strikes out. And there goes. There's your answer. Rodney shuts down the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning rolls in. There's a smile from Fernando. AL will bat with a rookie Abreu to lead it off. Up 2. Your local Lexus dealer and the pursuit of perfection by Intel. Look for Intel inside your next tablet. And by Red's Apple Ale. Pick different. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, it'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, and that means the rookie who leads baseball, Jose Abreu, dealing with the new pitcher, the left-hander Watson. Tony deals and a fly ball into left. Harrison is there, 1 out, and we go down for an interesting report from Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, some interesting comments by Adam Wainwright after he left the game to a group of reporters. He basically admitted that he threw a pitch to Jeter intentionally, meaning that he wanted him to hit it. The quote was, "I was going to give him a couple of pipe shots. He deserved it. I didn't know he was going to hit a double, or I might have changed my mind."
Kenny, thank you. We will hear from Adam Wainwright on the other side of the break. Watson comes in, throws one pitch, gets an out. Here comes Chapman in the bottom of the 8th. Story of Aroldis Chapman as he takes over here in the bottom of the 8th inning in a 2-run game. Hit in the face by a line drive toward the end of spring training and had to have a plate inserted above his left eye, and they had to open his head from ear to ear, and he's come back, hasn't looked back. Very brave man, as he has been absolutely dominant for the Cincinnati Reds. He's been smiling at his fellow countryman Yoenis Cespedes as he misses at 100 with ball 1.
Just getting loose.
And Cespedes is smiling back. Nice moment. Abreu, Cuban-born first baseman, flied out. Now Cespedes rounds out, and we'll go down to the dugout as we remember the news brought by Ken Rosenthal about Adam Wainwright saying that he was going to throw Jeter a couple of pitches he could handle. That was pitch number 2 that went for the double. Let's go down to Aaron Andrews.
And Adam Wainwright is watching this video with me right now going, oh, come on, 94, 87, that's ridiculous. The comments you made to the reporters after you pitched, what was that all about?
You know what? Sometimes my humor gets taken the wrong way. I feel terrible about this. If anyone's taking any credit away from what Derek Jeter has done today, or off me or anything, I mean, it was missaid. I made a mistake about that. I hope people realize I'm not intentionally giving up hits out there. I know this game means something, and I'm guessing people will think I'm trying to give up home runs to Miguel Cabrera too next. So No, I mean, I'm very competitive, and I think I said yesterday I did not want Derek Jeter to get a hit, and I think I said it today even before I pitched. So I don't know. I just it's a distraction, and I do not want to be a distraction. I wanted it to be all for Derek, and so if anything is taken away from his moment, then I sincerely apologize. But that at no point in my career have I ever gone out and intentionally given up hits.
Well, we appreciate you clearing that up. Don't you love social media?
No, I don't love social media.
Joe, you do too. Back up to you.
It's awesome. Well done, well said by Adam Wainwright. Glad he cleared it up. Jeter would not have liked that either. We go to the ninth. 5-3 AL. It is a new battery for the American League trying to close this one out. Up 5-3, ninth inning. Kurt Suzuki is in to catch, and he is catching Glenn Perkins, the local guy, in to close it. He can bring it, and he fires a strike. And these fans love it. It could not have worked, guys, any better for the AL. And John Farrell, this is exactly what he hoped would happen.
He's some kind of script writer, isn't he, John Farrell? It's exactly what he told us. This is the situation he wanted.
Miguel Montero flies one into left center field. To his right to make the catch is Brantley, one away.
Well, this is a great story here, but I want to go back to the last half inning real quick, and we'll come back to the story with Perkins. I'm watching Chapman on fielding first base here on this play. It looked like he gets hurt. You see him hobbling already, and he comes up gingerly on this play that I know the trainers talked to him after the game, something we'll have to follow up on. But he's having a tough time getting over there, Joe.
Yeah, so that's something for the Reds to worry about now going into the second half. Cincinnati at the break, just a game and a half out behind Milwaukee. Here's Harrison, 0 for 1. And they gave Chapman a visit down in the dugout. Said he was all right. That'll be a story coming out of this for Cincinnati. 1 ball, 1 strike on Harrison. The National League needs a base runner to have a chance against Perkins. It's Suzuki flashing the signs. It's fouled away, strike 2.
Pretty cool, Perkins and Suzuki in the game right now. They've electrified the crowd.
Absolutely.
Oh, they started making noise as soon as he came out of the bullpen.
From Stillwater, Minnesota, about 30 miles east of Minneapolis. That's foul. Was born in St. Paul. The second Minnesota-born pitcher selected to an All-Star team. Jack Morris, the other, and he was here to throw out the first pitch last night. The count 1-2, and a strikeout for round number 2. Budweiser is the official beer of Major League Baseball. They present the walk-off. And what a moment here in the 4th inning with Derek Jeter walking off after being replaced defensively. Great walk-offs are waiting at foxsports.com/Budweiser. Grab some buds. Here is the last hope for the National League, down 2, Charlie Blackmon. Hitting .306, 14 home runs for the Rockies. With 2 out. It's ball 1 upstairs. Thinking of Dick Jankowski, who is a local legend, great speaker in the area, broadcaster for the Gophers, University of Minnesota, in a fight. An area hospital, and a chopper to second. Picked up by Kinsler, and the AL wins it. A final of 5-3. Perkins gets the save, and the AL wins in Derek Jeter's final All-Star Game appearance.
What a great game. Just all the way around. The excitement, the way the game started for me, it was the offense. It just injected enthusiasm through the game that just kind of was easy to ride through.
When we talk about perfect scripts, for Derek Jeter, it's a game that ends with a W.
Scherzer gets the win. The loser is Neshek. And the save for Perkins, as he electrified this home crowd. And the AL wins back-to-back years. The American League gets home field advantage in the upcoming World Series as they win it 5-3. The One, brought to you by Fox Sports Live. Every score, every highlight, every night, only on Fox Sports 1. Your home for tonight's All-Star post-game coverage. Miguel Cabrera back in the 1st inning against Adam Wainwright. The 2-run shot and the 3-run first. And the bullpen for the American League, fantastic here in this 85th All-Star Game. While they gather on the field, and we soon will go down for interviews. Happy birthday to Trudy Buck, the 15th. On the 15th of July. And as we wrap up our night, certainly more to come. Let's go down to Kenny Rosenthal.
Glenn, you're the hometown guy. You play for the hometown team. What were your emotions like on the mound in the 9th?
You know, I was numb. When I started running out, I knew that we had so much time in between innings, and I tried to slow down, but I couldn't. I tried to get out here and take time in between pitches. I couldn't, but wow, that was awesome. I mean, I'm still in shock.
When did you know you'd be pitching for the save?
I think when we took the lead, what was it, the 5th inning, we got the 2 there, and time stopped from then on because I was just waiting until I could warm up and get out there. But man alive, that was something else.
How about the crowd when you came in and all through the 9th?
Makes me want to get to the playoffs because I think that's a playoff atmosphere right there. They loved it, and that's what this is about. That's for the fans, and you know, thanks to John Farrell for getting me in there at the end and doing that. That's a treat for these people that showed up tonight.
Glenn, congratulations. Thank you. Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny, thank you. Congratulations to Glenn Perkins. What a nice moment here for an area kid getting the save tonight in the All-Star Game. That had to feel great. Scherzer gets the win, 5-3. The AL has won 2 straight. We'll be back with the most valuable player and that announcement when we return after the break. On a beautiful night in Minneapolis, the AL wins it, a final of 5-3. Back after this.